Welcome to the cave. We've had a lot of time off, ladies and gentlemen. We've been here in 2 weeks.
3
weeks.
3 weeks.
Holy shit. I've probably had the worst fucking 3 weeks ever.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday before Super Bowl, my car broke down. Then fucking Friday after that, Mason went to emergency room. No, Thursday he went to emergency room. Friday, the ambulance picked him up. He had to go to emergency room.
Holy shit. So what was the deal with him? I didn't...
He had like a virus, and somehow the virus caused like an asthmatic episode. So now they've diagnosed him with toddler asthma. So now he has to do like puffers and stuff.
Damn.
So then, since my car broke down, I've been bidding on cars. I found this 2011 Crown Victoria that O'Fallon was getting rid of. 116,000 miles, 2011, $4,000.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
wow.
this is going to be awesome.
That's an awesome deal.
So, I had a fucking truck breakdown. They had to literally like take boxes off of a truck, tow the truck back to our work, then get them on a new truck, and then take them to a fucking airport where a little bitty plane took off and sent them to my customer, because since the truck broke down, they had to expedite them. So I'm doing all this shit at work. I'm trying to keep up on the auction. The auction ends at 9:15. I got a $4,000 bid down. I look down the clock. It's 9:18. I'm like, oh, fuck. Because I wanted to see if anybody outbid me.
Yeah.
I get on there. Bid won $4,025.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone outbid me by $25.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's been a fucking fun-filled last 3 weeks.
Wow.
Have you guys been better?
I can't complain.
I got an annoying damn dog that I can't stand. It beats the shit out of me. Other than that,
how big is that fucking dog going to get?
He's up to 38 pounds right now.
Jesus.
They're talking anywhere between 90 and 110 pounds.
That's insane.
Shit happens.
Did you know it was going to get that big when you bought it?
No, but
Or
Leanna
got
did.
it? Oh, she knew?
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky bitches, man.
Damn Mexicans.
Yeah, they're fucking... we say spics in this household, Rick. So we're doing Conspiracy Theories 2.0, because last time we got cut off a little early, and it was just too big to do all in one sitting.
Yeah, there's a lot to go over.
So what should we start with? Something fun.
You want to start with yours, since I know you've got something prepared today.
Yeah, I've always been curious. When was it the 2012 election? The whole Ron Paul thing, when he was big.
Yeah.
You know how much I loved Ron Paul. He was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
I think it was you and me that had the conversation that all of us are different spots on the political spectrum. It was like me, you, and Michael. Like, we're all in various spots on the spectrum, but we all agree that Ron Paul was awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like, I feel like it's weird that we're all kind of different, but we all agree on a lot.
Yeah.
So it just shows you how...
It's weird how it's almost like they pit everybody against each other on the stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's like everyone agrees on the main, like 80%, but then they pick the 10 and the 20% that's like fucking bullshit. Oh, you guys should be fighting about this and this. That doesn't really mean anything. Like abortion, gay marriage, like stuff that's just... You guys should fight about this stuff, not the fact that we're stealing all of your fucking money and you guys will be in debt the rest of your life. And
yeah, it's funny how I think Kral, he probably differs from everyone the most, and even him, when I'm talking to him about stuff, I at least can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like he's just like off the rails. Just I can't even see where he's coming from. But
yeah. Well, anyway, when I was looking into Ron Paul back in 2012, I started to get on his big thing about the Federal Reserve and started researching the Federal Reserve, and there's a lot of shit that we are not even taught, and it has to be on purpose. That's the only thing I can come up with, that it has to be on purpose. I'm going to ask you, Rick, the Federal Reserve. Do you know what the Federal Reserve is? And don't be ashamed if you don't, because 80% of the people don't.
Not offhand, to be honest with you.
If I were to tell you...
What about on hand?
If I were to tell you true or false, And don't think this is a trick question. True or false, the Federal Reserve is a government entity?
Sure.
False. Is that crazy?
That's weird.
It's called Federal Reserve. When you think Fed, you think government. Did you know that the Federal Reserve?
like FedEx, that's
But I mean, did you know that the Federal Reserve is a private company?
not until like a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like even I've heard the Federal Reserve before, and I really didn't even give it a second thought,
Yeah.
But
I used to work for a company that sold insurance to old people, and we would have these like seminars. My job was to try to talk these old people into coming and having a free lunch and listen to this financial seminar. And that was one of the things that we would ask is the Federal Reserve a part of the government or is it a private company? And like 80%, and this is like people between the ages of 55 and 80, 80% of the classroom would always think that it's a federal entity, that it's an actual government agency. And these are people that have lived here in this country, 70 years or so.
it's kind of weird. I kind of looked into it, and with the things they do, you would think, they are a federal entity. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. They control the interest rates.
Yeah.
They print money. They pretty much control our economy.
And it's just a private banking. They're a privately owned bank.
It's weird. I kind of looked into it, and I'm looking into it, and I'm watching videos about it, and just learning more and more. I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's
I still don't know what it is.
it's something. It should be something that's easy to understand,
Yeah.
or something that's taught. That's why I kept coming back to this. Has to be by design. Like we have to be in the dark for a reason. Like why? What's the reason? Why are we in the dark? You always have to look for a motive when you look for things like that. But basically, it started by all the big names in the early 1900s. The big private, the Rothschilds and all the big names, the Philip Morris, and they all got together and they met in this island, this private island that this guy owned, and they basically wrote the Federal Reserve Act. Just this group of rich guys just basically wrote the foundation of the Federal Reserve Act, and then they got a senator on their side to put it through Congress, got it all passed. Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, and just like that, and we gave the United States currency, the ability to control interest rates. We gave everything up to a private company. And so what our government does is we borrow money from this private bank, just like you and I would to take out a loan. So our government borrows money from this bank, and we have to pay the interest back. So that we borrow the money, and then we pay them interest. That's how they make money. But I was so confused as, like you said, the Federal Reserve prints the money.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say there's only $1,000 in circulation, and I give you that $1,000, but I tell you, you owe me $1,000 plus interest. How the fuck are you going to pay me more than the $1,000 if I'm the only one that's able to create money?
Yep.
And what it is, it's a perpetual debt system. It's built to keep the country and keep the people in debt forever.
So really, what it would do is it would make that $1,000 worth less, correct?
Because they have to print more money in order to be able to pay it back. And by printing more money, you devalue the currency because scarcity is what makes things have worth. So if money's less scarce, if it's more of it coming in, then it's worth less. Your dollar is worth less.
So is that why we have inflation? Is that
It's exactly what inflation
Okay.
is. It's whenever the value of the dollar goes on, it goes down, and it's caused by different things. But one of the biggest things is by overproducing money. And that's why countries used to back everything by gold, because there was a set amount of gold. And the reason that if you put $100 in the bank today, it would be worth more when you were 60 is because products become more scarce. Or I'm sorry, your money becomes more scarce, and there's more products. So your $100 that you put in the bank in 1920 is worth more in 1980 because that $100 is more scarce now because there's only so much money in circulation.
Mm.
But the way they do it now is they print more money. So if there's more money in circulation, your dollar's worth less. And everything I was reading was just...
That's why I guess if you just hold on to your money and you don't have it in a savings account or anything, you're pretty much losing money.
Exactly, because if you're not getting interest paid back to you at a rate that they're devaluing the dollar, then yeah, you're basically losing money by saving money.
And even I don't know about. I'm sure it's like this with everyone's just basic savings account, but I think I get like 20 cents a month for every $1,000 I have in there, which is they're probably making $20 a month off that $1,000.
Well, here's the crazy thing I saw, and this will blow your fucking mind. Let's say Rick and I open up a bank. So we open up a private bank. We're going to call it Rick and Mike's private bank because we're creative.
I'm down. Let's do it.
We'll go to the Federal Reserve in St. Louis. Missouri's kind of unique because we have 2 Federal Reserve banks. There's 12 in total in the whole United States, but Missouri has 2. We have one in Kansas City and one in St. Louis, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because we're centrally located, so it's easier to get the money. But so say we go down to the Federal Reserve in St. Louis, and we want to start our bank with $1,000. Let's say $1,100. So we go and we get $1,100 and put it in our account. How much of that money do you think I need to keep if I wanted to loan out this $1,100?
I would say probably 300.
So you're thinking out of the $1,100 that we took from the Federal Reserve, we have to keep $300 on hand in order to loan out the rest of it. And it's a trick question because we're actually going to keep all $1,100 in the bank, but we're going to loan out $10,000. We're allowed to loan out $10,000 on the $1,100 that we have in the bank. So we've just created, $8,000 out of nothing, $8,900. We just created it out of nothing.
And then you're allowed to make money off of that fake money.
So let's say we have $1,100 in the bank now from the Federal Reserve. We're going to write Jim a loan. We're going to give Jim a loan for $10,000. So Jim goes and buys a car. And whoever he buys the car from, they take that $10,000 and go put it in their bank. Well, now this bank has $10,000, which none of it's really real. We just created this $10,000 out of thin air. Well, that bank, since it's the it's not Federal Reserve money, they can't just go out and loan out $100,000 and keep the $10,000. They can loan out $9,000 and keep $1,000. So of that $10,000, they can loan out $9,000 of it and keep $1,000. So right now we've created almost $19,000 so far from a first $1,100 that we got from the Federal Reserve. So you can keep doing this. You can keep taking fractions. So every time they loan out less and less money and they keep less and less money. If you were to break it all the way down, just keep going and going and going, how much money do you think you can create from that first $1,100? Just a guess, because you're not going to be able to do it in your head.
Okay, I'll just say a round number, $1 million.
How much you think?
I think it's never ending, to be honest with you.
In a sense, it is never ending because you can always take a fraction of a fraction, but eventually, what's 1/1,000,000th of a penny? But it's around $100,000 that these private banks can create from this original $1,100 they got from the Federal Reserve. So not only is the Federal Reserve printing money that's based on nothing, I mean, they're basically just printing money through a machine that we're just telling you that this is worth something. So not only are they just creating money that way, we're creating money by every step of the way with this what's called a fractional banking system. And that's how our whole monetary unit works. That's how the whole United States And the only way you stop that is if I gave you the $10,000 loan and you didn't put it in a bank. You just buried it in your backyard or kept it in your closet. But most people keep their money in the bank.
Yeah.
For instance,
because if you just bury it in the yard, then you're losing money pretty much. Over time.
Yeah, unless there's like hyperinflation, and then we're all fucked anyway.
Yeah.
But for instance, like Nikki and I have quite a bit of money in the bank. Today I went to get cash out to buy a car, and I found a used car for around $4,000. So I go in and I ask her for $4,000. I fill out my deposit slip and I hand it to her. And she goes, kind of freaked me out. She's like, "Oh, okay. I have to get approval and make sure we have cash on hand." I'm thinking, we don't bank it like a local bank. And I know it's Friday. It's getting ready to be the weekend. They're probably running low on cash. But I'm thinking, you're U.S. Bank.
Yeah.
You should have like $300,000 back there.
Yeah, no shit.
So I was like, you need a fucking approval? for me to get my own goddamn money out of this fucking bank?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. She's like, oh, we just need to make sure we have cash on hand, and I have to get approval for this amount. It's my fucking money. You know whose approval you have? You have my fucking approval.
yeah.
My fucking approval to take my money out of your fucking bank.
So what happens if you have $100,000 in there and you just want to take it out? Do you have to give them like a heads up, like let them know?
Well, that's where the Great Depression happened.
Yeah.
Is people were getting scared that there wasn't going to be enough money, so everybody started taking their money out. Well, all the money's loaned out. There's nothing there. I mean, there's fractions on the dollar of what's there. So if everybody goes to take their money out, that's where banks get fucked. I mean, that's where the economy goes to shit, because it's all just a facade. Like, the money's not really there. It's all out floating. And then when the banks make bad decisions, they get bailed out. So they have there's no risk for them. So it's
I remember
crazy.
hearing some crazy stat. I think it's true. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was true. But when we bailed out the banks and all that, I remember hearing, like, if instead of bailing out the banks, you would have given every adult American, the equivalent of what it took to bail out the banks, like every adult would get $100,000.
Yeah, it would, like,
and
what
that
they
that alone would just that would do so much better than giving it to the banks.
What they should have done is, and I think Switzerland did it when a similar thing happened. It was just Switzerland, one of the Finnish, maybe it was Finland, or one of the Netherlands countries. That's what they did when they got the bailout. The people got it, and the banks got fucked, and they took over the banks. The people took over the banks, and here, the banks are they're the ones that run the show. They're the ones passing the laws. They're the ones making things happen. So they're the ones that are going to be like, oh, we need the bailout. But yeah, I mean, on all that money, a lot of that money is unaccounted for. You go to the Federal Reserve, they lost like $13 trillion. They don't know where it's at. Federal Reserve just lost $13 trillion. Where is it? We don't know. We're looking for it. We're auditing it. This is back in fucking 2000. They still haven't found it.
Yeah, I remember
2006.
hearing about that.
But it's like, how do you lose $13 trillion?
Just I wonder if you think about what would have happened if they did give the stimulus, I guess they would call it, like, of $100,000 to everyone. A lot of people would pay off their houses, and it would have went back to the banks that way.
Yep.
I'm sure prices would skyrocket for a lot of things just because everyone has money now. But then I'm sure some people would quit their jobs because they're dumb.
Oh yeah.
But I think overall it probably would have been a good thing,
I would definitely be more for that than a bunch of billionaires getting it and paying off bonuses. Why? I don't understand. I didn't understand that. I took a lot of business classes in college, and I never would think that someone should be rewarded for bad business decisions. But these people were all getting bonuses for making shitty business decisions.
What was the company that just went under and they filed for bankruptcy, but it was to be able to pay, but they still were able to pay like the CEO like a $3 million whatever to get
severance
package or whatever, and they paid all these guys millions of dollars and then filed for bankruptcy. It's
crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy, and it just shows because it doesn't make sense logically. It doesn't make sense ethically. So it proves that they're running the show and they don't give a shit what anyone thinks. They're just, they're telling us this is how it's going to be. And we're just like, okay, that's fine.
And it kind of you think about this is probably going to continue, and eventually the richer are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, and there's going to be a huge divide. What point, when there's 90% of the population is living in poverty, what point does shit go down? And
see, and I think a lot of the like these secret societies, like the Bilderberg groups and the Freemasons, and a lot of them aren't the heebie-jeebie crazy stuff that people say, but I think a lot of it is the rich people getting together and saying, okay, how much do we have to give back so that these poor people don't come and fucking kill us and start a revolution? Like, how much can we get away with before these people start coming back for forgetting, because I think it was the Koch brothers, one of the rich families. They were saying that things need to change quick, because right now in America we're all fat and we're not starving and
Yeah.
we live in pretty comfortable. Even lower class people live pretty comfortably compared to other countries. But how long do you have to watch your 2-year-old starve or your 3-year-old starve before you start doing shit, like actually doing active things, not blogging or not talking on the internet, but going to the streets and going to the Capitol building? You're gonna go what, 2 weeks? How long are you gonna let your kids starve? People that are being affected in that way, that's when shit changes. That's when revolutions happen.
You want to hear a crazy stat? The government actually released a stat. They said 20 years from now, 50% of jobs won't be here anymore because they'll be replaced by technology.
That's fucking insane.
That is insane.
But
And
I believe it. I mean, you said 20 years?
20 years.
So you think, well, let's think
Think about here's a big one that's just around the corner that people don't realize is driverless cars.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's going to put truck drivers out of business, cab drivers out of business,
Yeah.
delivery people out of business. That's got to be 1/10 of the workforce right there,
See, and the issues with a lot of these technologies is they should make costs go down.
Which they do a lot of the times.
They do, but it's a fraction of, like, a lot of, like, say we do this and we save $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of that savings goes to profit. And
Yeah.
we barely cut the price.
Yeah.
And then the rest of all of our savings go to our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I saw this. There's this French guy that makes, like, whenever they're making a futuristic movie, he's the one they go to. And it's like, what are things going to
yeah,
be
I think
like?
I know what you're
You've
talking
seen
about.
that?
Yeah.
But he said that the ultimate future is one where we do nothing. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like technology does everything. But there's too many people in power that would never let that happen. Like, they crave this power and they crave the money,
Mhm.
and they would never let us just sit on a beach and have robots bring our drinks.
Well, I don't know. I could see the robots doing everything for them, and they're the only ones that can afford it. It's like
Yeah.
we're just kind of sitting in the slums. Just we can't afford that shit.
Did you
'cause-
guys see that Matt Damon movie? What was that called?
Elysium.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I don't think I saw the whole thing.
It
but-
was
Haven't seen
pretty
that.
It was
good.
kinda-
You didn't see it either.
Nah,
Yeah.
haven't seen that yet.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's like that. The rich have all this great technology, and they have they don't get cancer. Like, they're all perfect, and
Mhm.
and all of us still live down here on Earth, and everything's fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I could see that. But yeah, that was about it. That, as much as I could get into with my education level, there was a lot of it where I was just like, I don't fucking know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. But I was like, fuck, this is disgusting. And then there's more to it. Like, the Social Security Act was put into place to make people like slaves to the Federal Reserve, like we're collateral.
Yeah.
That the U.S.
Yeah.
government kind of put us as collateral, saying, well, they're always going to pay you this amount of money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I heard that that's the way we like pay our loans off. Yeah, and if you think about the amount of money you spend in taxes, which they hit you like 10 times because they hit you on, personal property tax, they hit you on your tax you pay, at the end of the year, like your W-2s and all that. And then they hit you for sales tax. That's 7%. And there's all these damn taxes, man.
I saw this thing, and God, I wish I had the number because it was something I couldn't believe. But it was a guy that did that. Like, from the moment you're born, your sales tax, every tax you ever pay, all your interest. And it was something like 80% of the money you ever make in your life will go to taxes and interest.
Jeez.
And I was just like, what? Like, that's fucking insane. That means that when I'm at a job, 80% of the time I'm working for someone else, not for me.
Yeah.
20% of the time I'm working for me, 80% of the time I'm working for someone else.
You gonna
Well,
say
if you
something, Rick?
think about it, everything that you buy, you're getting taxed on regardless.
Yep.
I don't care what it is. I mean, gas. Even though you don't pay for it right there, if you look at it, it says tax included.
Yeah.
When you go to the store, you go to Walmart, buy toilet paper, you're taxed. Anything you're taxed on. To get on what you're talking about with the personal property and stuff like that, I think it's bullshit how some of the states don't even have that. For instance, Illinois. they don't have to pay personal property taxes, and they're supposed to have higher gas prices. Do you know how many times I go over there and it's only 2, maybe 3 cents, or the same price here in Missouri as it is over there?
I've noticed lately, I work over there a lot, and I noticed lately it's only been about 10 cents higher a
Higher than
gallon.
what ours is.
It used to be like 30, because I'd go over there in like 2010, and it'd be like 30 cents a gallon higher, and
Yeah.
now I don't know what's going on, but it's only like 10 cents a gallon higher,
Huh.
and I have no explanation for that.
And the thing is, like, I hear on, I'm a truck driver. You guys know that. But for the people listening that don't know that, they say Illinois is broke. Well, duh. I think everyone should have the same rules. If you're going to sit here and say, Illinois, you're going to pay personal property tax, that should be for everyone, clean slate down the road. Whatever you make for that state should be for every state. Not just, we're going to have your rules, we're going to have your rules. For instance, the whole cell phones. I'm not trying to go off track. But, like, they don't even have a warning sign once you go into any part of Illinois saying that you can't be on a cell phone.
Oh, they have that law where you
They
can't
have a
use
law where you can't use cell phones, but you can use the headsets
Bluetooth stuff.
and the Bluetooth. But, you know, it's just stuff like that. They want to sit here and they want our money, and they want to make the laws, but they don't want to show the proof of it.
Well, I think a lot of those laws, I'm going to say majority of those laws have nothing to do with safety. It's all profit. It's
yeah,
all
it is.
revenue
Absolutely.
generating. So it would be beneficial for them not to inform people.
Absolutely.
if it's revenue generating.
The funny thing is, like, I heard this, that by 2025, I think 75% of all vehicles are going to be autonomous, driverless, like you won't have to drive. So what are they going to do for revenue, man? No DUIs, no speeding tickets.
That's true.
Nothing. They really can't pull you over. I mean,
Oh, that's true.
I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, think how many cities, St. Anne, if you go through St. Anne going 61 to 60, they're pulling your ass over.
Yeah.
You're getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the people that live in St. Anne, they're paying like, $200 a year for
Yeah.
property tax.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not getting any money. It's just,
Well, I remember when St. Peter's finished that police station over by the mall, that real nice,
Yeah.
fancy one. There were cops everywhere for the next 2 months. I mean, they were everywhere. I was thinking, oh, fucking paying off that nice police station you
Exactly.
got there, huh?
exactly.
I was watching the news yesterday, and they were talking about a lot of St. Louis cops have quit since the whole Ferguson thing. Like, they're having a hard time keeping
Yeah.
cops on. I called Corey because he's been trying to get down here. I was like, dude, you need to put an application in because they're like begging for people to be cops. So they did a story, and they said, we don't have enough cops. We need more cops. And then like 2 stories later, they were talking about how they're going to have a huger presence during Mardi Gras of St. Louis Police Department at Mardi Gras. So I was like, okay, you just told everybody you don't have very many people. Now you're telling everybody that they're all going to be at Mardi Gras. So pretty much everything else is fair fucking game.
Yeah.
And then the chief said something that was really fucking weird. He said, our main focus this year is underage drinking. I'm thinking, that's the number one priority
Yeah.
down there? Like, shouldn't it be like something else?
That
like,
brings them in a lot of money, though.
yeah, that's
I got a MIP when I was 19, and I had to pay some money for that.
Yeah, see, and that's what it told me. I'm like, oh, it's like fucking revenue generating. Like, it should be, no, we're down there to keep the peace, make sure there's no fighting, make sure, we're down there to make sure there's no assaults, no sexual assaults.
No gunshots.
The number
No,
one
yeah.
thing they should be worried about is violent crimes.
Yeah, safety and crime. No, I mean,
They
come
shouldn't.
on,
They shouldn't be
underage
busting
drinking.
people for walking around with a joint in their pocket, or
Yeah.
a 19-year-old or 20-year-old kid drinking a beer. I mean, Jesus.
It's just like that in education. You start bringing in revenue, and that becomes your main goal, and then everything else becomes secondary.
Yeah.
And it's never good for when you're in a public service. That should always be the major objective. It should never be monetary. And I think too much of public service is becoming that. The main objective is monetary.
Yep.
Sucks. Well,
Yep.
that's about it on the Federal Reserve. Let's bring
And
up
add
another
on to
one.
that, I heard a stat that the United States has, I think, 5% of the world's population and 20% of the world's incarcerated population.
Oh yeah,
Which is insane.
it is crazy.
And that's how they make their money,
And we have I just watched a documentary on it was a judge. It was called Cash for Kids. Have you guys seen that?
Never heard of it.
If you have Netflix, look up Cash for Kids. It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
But basically, it was this judge who cut a deal with these private prisons, these private juvenile halls, where he would get commission for kids that he would send to juvenile hall because it was a
Wow.
private company. They were making profit from these kids being incarcerated. Well, this judge, one girl made a Facebook page of her assistant principal, didn't say anything threatening, sent her to juvie because she made a Facebook page.
Wow.
And what they would do to get away with it is they would tell these parents, don't get a lawyer. If you get a lawyer, things are going to get real shitty for you. Just let us do what we need to do. They would pressure these uneducated parents to give up their custody of their kids to the state, who would then in turn send them to a private prison. And this judge was making profit from it. It's like, that's fucking crazy. That's even...
It's crazy what people do for money, man. I'd like to say that hopefully I would never, if I was put in a situation like that, I wouldn't do that. But who knows, man?
Yeah.
Money makes people do crazy shit.
Yeah. But
It's
that
insane.
what that stat reminded me of is they said we imprison more minors in this country. Not like people who mine for gold, but like people who are underage. We incarcerate more underage people than any other country in the world.
Jeez.
And
Wow.
if we have the most incarcerated adults per capita, the most incarcerated children per capita, how the fuck can we say we're the land of the free? Like,
Yeah.
we literally have the most people per capita that are not free.
I think it's got to be the drug war, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of drugs, and I think it all goes back to money. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much profit in this public service, keeping criminals off the street. There's so much profit involved that it's really not about stopping crime. It's about making money.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like you said, when you bring money into it, people do crazy things. People are willing to incarcerate people for money. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people in jail for fucking pot. I mean, honestly, for fucking marijuana.
And like I said, like, how do they bust all those people? It's pull them over for something.
yeah,
Whenever they have these driverless cars, man, they can't pull
Yeah.
them over. It's really gonna fuck them, man.
So do you think they'll try to stop it in its tracks then?
I don't think they can.
It'll be here.
It's gonna be here. I mean,
But I mean, the laws have to be passed. Like, to
yeah,
be able,
but there's so many. I was watching a video on like the recent auto show, and there's a couple automakers that are gonna have like, I think half of their vehicles are gonna be like semi-autonomous by 2017. Those are gonna be like luxury models. But like I said, they're saying by 2025, most vehicles are gonna be autonomous.
yeah,
Which
that's
is insane.
that Google car has logged 1.5 million miles without a wreck.
Yeah, it's like 1 million miles, no It got in one accident, but it wasn't their fault. It was the other.
Oh, okay.
the
Someone
other
hit
person.
it.
Someone
Someone's
ran
like,
into it.
"Fuck this record."
Perfect record, my ass.
Fucking Google. My Android phone sucks. Oh man. Gosh. So what's I know you guys looked up some stuff. Who wants to go?
Rick, you have a good one,
Ricky,
or you want
give
me
us
to?
some.
You want me to get in on this?
Yeah, you can go or I can go. It don't matter.
Fuck, are you guys' microphones shocking the shit out of you?
No.
No.
I just have a fucking live wire
Maybe
somewhere.
it's because you got a Mexican microphone.
That could be.
Could be.
If you haven't figured out by now, Rick hates Mexico.
Fuck Mexicans.
Can I say something on that? Hope, Leanna, you're not listening to this.
Or her
Don't
mother.
listen.
Or father.
Fuck her mother.
Whoa!
Oh! Like literally? Like religiously?
No. Like run away. Run far away.
Dude, you know this is going on the intranet.
Shit happens.
Rick, 20 years from now, this is still going to be on the internet.
Right around the time we're not driving cars.
It's 10 years, buddy. It's 10 years.
Yeah, 2025.
I don't know about you, man. As soon as those motherfuckers come out, I don't care if they're 40 grand. I'm buying one.
Now, can I debate on the whole driving when you're talking about how they're pretty much going to have hands free, basically. I have my CDL. I drive an 18-wheeler.
Oh, you're fucked, Rick. Sorry.
The thing is, man, there is no way in hell they're going to be able to do that.
Not only are they going to be able to, they're going to be able to better than you.
The thing is, hear me out here. I drive a 53-foot flatbed truck.
Mhm.
Okay. You have all kinds of switches when you got to engage, decline, incline on hills. How is it going to be able to do all that?
It's a computer,
Dude,
man.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We got computers on it now.
You know
And
there's a
they-
computer that can beat you in Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Can whoop your ass at Jeopardy.
And just going up hills, just an example like this, because I know that was just an off-the-wall example, but
Mhm.
they have a mountain bike. You know how you switch gears on a mountain bike?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have a mountain bike that it can tell when you're going uphill, and it'll lower the gear just from the level of it.
Okay,
So
but
if-
here's the thing.
And this is with no computer. It's just weights. It
Yeah.
just has weights on it.
But
So
I have 50,000 pounds on a load, on a trailer.
yeah, well, the computer will know how many pounds it has to the ounce, and it'll fucking calculate every millisecond exactly how fast they need to
it
go.
can see. It has no blind spots. It
Yeah.
can see 360 degrees.
I don't think I mind it. I think what scares me is a lot of people are going to be out of jobs.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well,
That's-
yeah.
Everywhere.
That's
the
shitty
one
part.
I'm so looking forward to tech. You know what's going to happen in the next 20 years with technology. The one thing that is going to suck is I see it killing a lot of jobs. And like in the past, you know, technology kills jobs, but there's more jobs that it creates. But it's getting to the point it's killing so many jobs. It's like you can't replace them fast enough.
I was at Walmart the other day, the one on Jungerman. They just got the automatic scanners.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but I went. I usually try to go to the person, but the lines are always so long.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this lady, and she was a cashier, and she said, "Yeah." She goes, "We've all been talking here that ever since they got this automatic checkers, they've had like 2 lanes open."
I've noticed that, especially later at
Yep.
night.
And she said what they're thinking is they're trying to make the experience with the actual real person horrible. Like, who the fuck wants to stand in that line?
Put-
So that makes
You think they
them-
put like the really dumb ones in line and
Yeah. If you ever know the fucking 10 items or less, you might as well have 100 fucking items with that dumb bitch. I mean, they literally put, no offense to fucking 90-year-old cunts, but they put the fucking dumbest, oldest fucking cunt at that fucking register.
yeah.
And she's just like, beep, beep. It's like, bitch, I could have went to the line with 100 items and somebody would have fucking did this faster.
Dude, one time I was in line and there was an old guy working it, and I had maybe 6 bags, and he was taking forever, man. I was seriously there probably 10 minutes just for my stuff, and finally he gets done, and I'm like, all right, thanks, and like just get the hell out of there. And I get home and realize I don't have 2 of my bags.
Oh, no.
They were like on the other side. I guess he didn't circle them around to me. I was like, oh. So I just paid for it. I didn't go back up there. It was just
Really?
it was probably just cheap
left it?
shit anyway,
Yeah.
you know.
But she said that she thinks that the company's making it worse for the human people, so that they go to the electronic one, so that they can say, oh, well, the electronic one's way more efficient and it's way better and people like it more, so we're just getting rid of all the cash lines. And
Dude, I can tell you one industry that there's going to be no jobs in about 5 to 10 years, and that's fast food. I don't know how it's not replaced by, well, for one, monkeys. But for 2, I mean, a robot. You would think a robot could do all that shit now.
as long as a robot can get no fucking ketchup right, like, I don't know how many times I've had to go back for ketchup.
Dude, I just download this Taco Bell app. You can order from your phone, pay by your credit card, and just go on up. Either go inside and pick it up, or go through a drive-through and pick it up.
That's crazy.
So it,
It's fast
and
food.
they're gonna hate it because it, like on the tacos, it said add extra beef 30 cents, add extra cheese 30 cents. It's
Oh,
like
God.
people are gonna have all these specialized orders,
Yep.
and you know they're gonna fuck that
Yep.
up. But
They can't do anything, and they all want fucking $15 an hour.
yeah, that's
to
ridiculous.
fuck up. But I watched this thing. They were talking about McDonald's was doing some things in a test market where when you pull up to the window and the person that asks you, can I take your order, isn't someone inside of the McDonald's. It's someone in India on
Yeah.
a call center.
Yeah.
Because it was cheaper to pay, $2 an hour to have someone sit there and take orders.
Hello, may I take your order?
Exactly. Or do you want to do fries with that? Not a problem at all. What is your name? My name is Mike.
You pull up to the drive-through window. There's a black guy handing you food. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I thought you were Indian.
And then he goes, thank you.
Yeah, but it's crazy that that was even just tested. Just like, well, we can save a few bucks by hiring one less person here
Yeah.
and just taking this job overseas.
It all goes back to just how companies, it's all about profit now. And I was talking about this to this guy from my work today, and we were talking about like new homes, and like they are getting shittier and shittier.
Yep.
Like nowadays, like they used to put plywood up on the outside of your house and then put the siding on. Now they don't even put plywood
Just
up.
straight to the particle board.
They put up the fucking 2x4s, and then they put up the siding. So you can just the siding. Yeah, they put insulation, 2x4s, siding, drywall. So and then the what's that shit called? But the waterproofing there.
Yeah.
The sheeting. So you could literally just go up, kick your foot through the siding,
Like straight to their
kick your
drywall.
foot through the drywall, and be in someone's house within 30 seconds.
That's crazy.
Just take a sledgehammer, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, you're in. That's insane.
Well, no wonder these fucking tornadoes have so many casualties. There's no
Yeah.
fucking house left.
These houses are built so shittily now, and my boss had a house built about 5 years ago, and he's in the remodeling industry, so he knows everything about building. And he would go there like every other day and just be like, hey, you guys know that's not really the way you're supposed to be doing that. And they're like, yeah, industry standard. So and then that's what they tell him. And then finally, I guess he was annoying them, so they said, listen, this is our house until you sign the closing papers. And he's like, shit, man. He's like, he put like $5,000 down on it already, so
Damn.
couldn't really do anything about it. But he was like, yeah, I was thinking about just letting him keep that $5,000 and be like, whatever, I don't want this house,
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. You pay, $200,000 for a house, and I think he paid probably $250,000 for that house, and who knows? They probably made $100,000 in profit off that.
Have you seen? There was just an article the other day. I think I talked about this on the very first podcast that we did, but the 3D printed houses.
I didn't see that.
There was just an article the other day about it, that it's basically this, those cranes that they have at shipyards that pick up those huge cargo ship thing. It's like that. It's this huge crane that moves and just fucking spits out a house. Fucking prints a house.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Dude, that's another thing that they're talking about in like 15, 20 years. All production is going to be done by 3D printers, which isn't going to hurt America as bad because we shipped that shit overseas long ago. But
yep. Well, I think about my job. We make like wire harnesses, and one of my customers is Whirlpool Service. I have 3 Whirlpool accounts, but one of them's service, and it takes forever to get service parts. And I was thinking, man, they just need a 3D printer.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like when it fucking breaks, fucking prints it out, bam, they got it right there.
It's funny how like cab companies, like especially the one here in St. Charles, is so shitty. I don't know if you've ever had to use them.
My mom's husband's a cab driver for Yellow Cab.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, we had him one time.
Oh, did you?
He was really cool.
Yeah.
It's not so much the cab drivers, but you call and they don't answer, they don't pick up,
Yeah.
and then if they do, they're complete dicks.
Well, he gave me his number. He said, any of us, if we ever need a ride, just call him directly.
Yeah.
And then you call him, and then you call the dispatch, and then he takes the call like, oh, I got this.
Yeah. It's funny, like, as soon as Uber came out and Lyft came out in New York and all the bigger cities, like, the cabbies are freaking out. It's like, and it's funny, South Park kind of made fun of it. They're like, well, why don't you just make your cab nice and start treating people nice? And then the cab was like, fuck that!
Oh, that's awesome.
It's funny, though, like, how shitty, some companies treat you, and they don't realize eventually you're going to have competition.
Yeah.
That's how it is with the cable companies, and Google's coming for you, and I can't wait.
That we went to Kansas City, and I tried that Google Fiber out there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. Have you heard about that, Rick?
I've heard about that a lot, actually. So I think it's going to be here in St. Louis in the next couple of years, though.
Well, I looked up the cities, and we're not even in the fucking running.
Really?
Like they have it mapped out for the next 5 or 6 years, maybe 10 years, but they have like what cities are going to get it. And the big thing is it's big time government subsidies. It gets big government subsidies, and St. Louis is. I mean, we're pretty liberal, but I think it's too conservative of a town. Like Kansas City was perfect,
Yeah.
super liberal. Like they understand public service things, and they're really good about that stuff. So they were one of the first cities to get it. But it's cool. It's like there was a spot where there was just Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the whole city's Wi-Fi. Just
There's
walk
been
around.
there's
and-
been towns that have been wanting to do that, and the cable companies and Verizon, all of them are fighting it so hard.
Yep.
And that's one thing that I hope 10 years from now is something that we don't have cable companies anymore, because a lot of these networks now you're able to buy them. Like I know CBS you can get for like $5 a month. ESPN you can get, HBO you can get online.
Yep.
They're kind of getting away from these cable companies, and the cable companies, man, they're such dicks.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah, we have an antenna to get. We get 28 channels now. They just added a few channels. It's kind of weird. They cycle through. Like you'll get rid of 5 channels, and then you'll get 6 more, and then like 2 weeks later there'll be different channels, and then yeah, it's kind of weird how that we just get different channels all the time. But that's what we do. So that's
You
just
get almost
our
everything
basic-
online for free nowadays.
Yeah,
though,
and then we watch stuff that we want to watch online.
Yeah.
And then like stuff we really want to watch, we'll pay for, like on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
So like Walking Dead, we just buy a season, $15
Oh,
for
yeah.
the season of Walking Dead. So it's 16 episodes, and you get to watch it on your TV, and I mean if you have a smart TV or on your phone,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
way
I mean,
better.
they got that Google Chrome now for $30.
Yeah, we have that in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty awesome.
So nowadays, you really don't need cable anymore.
Nope. We haven't missed it at all. I don't miss having to watch fucking 18 Kids and Counting or whatever the fuck that show is.
Dude. Allison has so many damn shows she watches.
See, you're into that stuff now.
No,
I mean you're into the torture of
oh yeah.
women's shows.
I just kind of play on my laptop
Yeah.
while she. Ugh.
Dude, I know all about Little Peoples and Big Worlds and fucking kids and fucking midgets and
Dude, Dance Moms.
Oh my
Teen
god.
Mom. Ugh.
Oh, Teen Mom,
Say yes
16
to
and
the
pregnant.
dress.
Yes. It's ridiculous. It's I wonder how do they like that stuff?
I have no idea, man. Sometimes I'm like, so I got her these headphones for Christmas
Uh-huh.
that I always ask her to put them on so I don't have to listen
Oh,
to it.
yeah.
I'm like, the headphones that connect to the TV. I'm like, hey, why don't you put on those headphones?
Yeah.
She hates them for some reason. So I'm like, ah,
Be-
damn it.
Because women want to bother you.
Yeah.
That's the main objective. Nikki never
so.
comes in the office ever. She's never in the office. Soon as I start a Madden game up, she's coming in cleaning the fucking office, walking in front of me, cleaning the windows, and she does it on purpose. Like she'll even look at me like, "Are you gonna say something? Fucking say something." And I don't because I'm not gonna play into that game.
that.
Yeah,
You don't want that.
No, I'm not falling for that shit.
Jeez.
So I just, lay along, and then when she leaves, like, fucking bitch, what you fucking cleaning in here? I'm trying to play this game. But
Man. So I guess we'll get into one of mine.
let's do it.
One of my conspiracy theories. You think I should wait for the moon landing one till Postel gets here, or is he coming? Or
He's fucking married.
It's kind of a
Oh,
personal
it's 9
question,
o'clock,
isn't
all
it?
right.
it's 9:01.
Want me to? I'll text him real quick.
Well, I got another one we can get into. I don't really have much prepared on it, but I figured it was one we should talk about, and that's the 9/11 conspiracy.
Oh yeah, let's do that. We're
I
gonna
mean,
piss
does
a lot of
anyone
people
think-
off.
Are you calling him?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it was I think it was Muslims that flew a plane into both buildings. I don't think it was charges that brought it down. The one thing I could see maybe happening that would be a conspiracy is that maybe our government knew it was going down, and they allowed it because they wanted to go in the Middle East, and for whatever reasons they wanted to go in the Middle East, and that was their way in. And it was pretty convenient how it's kind of weird. Like since World War II, we've always been in a war pretty much,
Yeah.
And I mean, we had what 5 years of peace here, 5 years of peace there. I mean, most of it was the Cold War, but the Vietnam, the Korean War, First Gulf War, Second Gulf War, Afghanistan. It's like we're always at war,
Yeah.
and that's the one thing I could see maybe happening. But what are your feelings on
When
9/11?
when I first started to like read the 9/11 truther stuff, and I was all gung ho that we were either definitely had a hand in it, or like you said, kept our hands off of it because we knew it was going to happen and we wanted it to happen because it would benefit us, which our government's done in the past, and a lot of governments have done in the past.
Yeah.
The reason that something's called a false flag is because it's a real thing. False flag attacks happen.
Like I actually kind of believe that the U.S. government knew about Pearl Harbor. That's why they pulled what was it, the aircraft carriers out of there.
There's been a lot of talk from the Japanese saying, because I guess there was rules of engagement in war. I guess back when we had respect in the 50s, we didn't just fucking fly drones into people's foreheads. There was rules. There was, you had to tell people we're going to attack, or this is what we're going to do, and blah. Well, basically Japan did that. Like they warned the U.S. that this is what's going to happen, and they had said that they did this.
Yeah.
And apparently we missed the memo, and we were just like, oh,
Wow.
kill all these people.
I never heard that they told us. I know pretty much. I remember hearing that the way we were sanctioning them and all that, it was pretty much shutting them down to where they didn't have much of a choice but to go to war with us. I remember hearing that, but like we weren't letting ships get to them and get to their island, and I guess they could have got things through. Well, I guess they couldn't get things through China because they were at war with China pretty much too.
I was always confused. That's another thing too, is we weren't very educated on what really happened in these wars. It never
Nothing
seemed like
we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, in school, I don't remember learning that much about World War II as far as like what were the causes. You hear about certain battles, and
It's funny how the way you see World War II, like, I remember the way I learned it. Maybe it was not like the way everyone else learned, but it was pretty much like America won the war against the Nazis, which really, it was pretty much I mean, we definitely helped, but the Russians really did. The Russians and Great Britain. Great Britain just kind of held on, which was a big deal, but Russia kind of fought back, and they were the ones that kind of took Berlin, so.
yeah, it was because I thought we had nothing to do with it at all. Like, I didn't know we were doing sanctions. I didn't know we were doing any of that. I thought Pearl Harbor, the way I always learned it, was the Japanese didn't want the United States to get in the war. And we had said we're not going to get in the war. But they were afraid that we were going to, so they attacked us saying, don't you fucking get in this war. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then that's where the we woke the sleeping dragon. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but that's what the Japanese, that's what we say the Japanese claimed, is that they woke the sleep. Like, we were just going to sleep through the war, and we were going to say we're not fucking with anything.
Yeah.
We're staying out of this. And then they bombed Pearl Harbor, and then we said, you know what? Fuck that. We're coming after you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I always get a lot of flack for this, but when people talk about like the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we're dropping the bombs on them, and I'm always like, I think that was fucked up. And a lot of people say, oh, well, they saved millions of people because it stopped the war. That's what stopped the war.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, they slaughtered thousands of people in Pearl Harbor, and they killed. And I always think of it like this, and everybody gives me shit for it, and I apologize if I offend anyone, but they attacked a military base, and they attacked people that joined the military, that knew what kind of damage. We bombed cities with like kids and women and children. We bombed hospital. We fucking dropped an atomic bomb that we really didn't know what it was going to do when we built it. Like, when they first tested the atomic, they thought the atmosphere could be disintegrated.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Like,
Then they just go, well,
it worked.
here goes nothing.
Yeah, we'll see. But we dropped that on 2 cities.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And I get where you're coming from.
and decades and decades of people that suffered. I mean, even now you probably there's
Mhm.
kids that have fucking arms growing out of their foreheads.
Yeah.
But
The way I would look at it, though, if I was in that position to drop those, I think I would have done it too. Because while that it's definitely fucked up, and I'm sure who was the president that dropped that?
Truman.
Truman.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the only man to ever to ever drop nuclear weapons on a population was from Missouri.
Yeah. Go
But it-
Missouri.
But anyway, I think I still would have did it because you look out for your own people, and it saved probably, I guess they estimate 1 million American men's lives. You know,
Yeah, by just
just by dropping those 2 bombs, which
because they dropped
and
out.
I think
as
it
soon
killed
as-
it killed probably what 250,000,
God.
which. But
250,000.
if you think if we invaded the old-fashioned way, I mean, they were not going to give up, man. They weren't going to do it. And maybe that's just what we think. Maybe they would have. You know, who knows? But
oh man, I think that's so crazy. I don't know. See, I have this fucking hippie. I'm super conservative in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways I'm this fucking liberal hippie homo.
the way I kind of look at it too is maybe it was a good thing because ever since then we kind of saw what it could do,
Yeah.
and we haven't used them again. Like they were talking about in the Korean War using strategic nukes. You know, just nuking strategically. What if we just used them like it wasn't shit? You know.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we'll go ahead and lob a couple nukes in there. They'll show them what's up, you know. What if we're using them in Iraq, you know? Instead of going in and invading, we just dropped a couple nukes.
Well,
We're like, surrender.
Did you guys see that big mushroom cloud in Ukraine?
Yeah, I saw that.
They apparently they mortared like this huge weapons factory and had this huge. But when the reports first came out, they were saying that it might have been like one of those.
Yeah, strategic nukes.
Yeah, strategic nukes.
Yeah.
But that thing was scary, man. That
They said,
fucking-
I think I saw something that said it was like the biggest bomb you could drop that's not a nuke, pretty much is what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, that makes sense because that thing was fucking huge.
yeah. And the way I look at nukes is it's almost like it kind of stopped war, like major war, you know? Now, that could so far it's a good thing, but if we ever use them again, it's going to be a bad thing, but
See, I've heard this theory too that that the United States creates this arm race to get nukes.
yeah.
We do it in the way that we don't fuck with any country that has nukes. Like we never fuck with we don't well until recently, but we
Yeah.
don't fuck with Russia. We don't really fuck with China.
Russia's the big one.
We don't
yeah.
really fuck with so all these countries that we fuck with, they're like, oh well, the United States doesn't fuck with countries with nukes, so let's try to get nukes. So North Korea starts trying to get nukes, and like all these countries are trying to get nuclear weapons because they're tired of the United States. In their point of view, they're tired of the United States fucking with them. So, but I mean, I don't know how real that theory is, but I've heard that before, that we're the one creating the arms race to get nukes because we
Yeah.
don't fuck with people with nukes.
You know what's really interesting to me is to think if nuclear weapons were never invented, do you think the Cold War would have, turned into an actual war? Like, just think about that crazy war between the United States and Russia at the time.
Gosh.
I don't know what would have happened. I mean, we probably would have been invaded. Who knows? We might have lost. It's just crazy to think what would happen if nukes weren't
Why?
invented.
What was that? Was that just the? Was it just us against communism? Like, why were we fighting Russia?
Yeah, two
Just
different
Ideologies.
yeah. Two different governing systems. One was socialism, one was capitalism, and we were trying to give the world capitalism. They were trying to give the world socialism, and
They.
and the thing about socialism is it does sound appealing, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm really anti-socialism, but it would seem like if you had a group of 20 people or something, like in a
Mhm.
small group, it seems like it would work perfect.
Yeah.
But in a country setting, I don't think it works perfect.
I remember, I forget who said this, but they said if you had a benevolent dictator and they use socialism, it would probably work. If you had someone that could enforce it, but with absolute power comes absolute corruption. So
Yeah.
it's astonishing any damn government works.
So 9/11. The only thing that freaks me the fuck out about 9/11 is Building 7. I can understand the first two buildings falling.
Mm-hmm.
Building 7 that scares the shit out of me.
And I need to look into that because I really haven't really seen that.
It's it's a huge building. I mean, it's let me look it up on Wikipedia too. I mean, it's a skyscraper.
They said it fell from what was it? What was the official explanation of it falling?
Well, in the report, the 9/11 Commission report, it was office fire. And debris from the first two towers falling and hitting.
Yeah, I could see, 210-story buildings falling right next to it would kind of destabilize a fucking building. I could see that.
And I could see that too. It's just the way that it falls is what freaks me out. I just want to see it falling. I don't know why. Is your internet working good? I think it's this computer.
Let me check here.
Do you have an HDMI hookup on that computer?
I don't think so. It is working.
Oh, here we go. 30-second reel. This is pretty good. But this is the only thing that fucking freaks me out. I don't want to see that one. I want to see.
So were you guys
loading?
both at school that day that went
Yeah.
down?
Yeah. Were you too?
Yeah, my mom came and got me and my sister and my brother
Oh,
both out of
really?
school.
Yeah.
It was the crazy thing about it was so I'm waiting for my mom to come get me. I'm in the office and I didn't know what the World Trade Center was.
I
was
didn't
like,
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing that freaked me out was the two receptionists were talking and they're like, "This is probably the beginning of World War III."
Oh my
and then
God.
and then all of a sudden someone else walked in the room. They go, "They just hit the Pentagon," and then I knew what that was. I was like,
yeah.
Holy fuck! I was like, "Mommy."
I was in Mrs. Wood's class,
Yeah.
and what's her name? The one who had the twins, Cummings,
Oh, okay.
the assistant principal. She came in, and she said, "A plane just hit the World Trade Center," and I go, "What a fucking idiot!" I didn't say fucking, but I was like, "What an idiot!" And I'm an asshole and I'm an idiot, but I was like, probably a woman flying, being sexist. And then she came back in again, and Miss Woods was like, "This may not have been an accident."
Yeah.
She was telling me, "You need to shut your mouth. This could have not been an accident."
Did they pull TVs in? Did you watch it?
And well, then Miss Cummings came in and she's like, "We're going to take you to." It was another classroom. I think it was the math teacher at the time, the blonde Hurt. So we all went with Miss Hurt's class, and we all sat and watched. They had two TVs set up, and we all just sat in there. And then the second plane, they were showing footage of the second plane hitting, and then we were like, "Oh fuck, this wasn't an accident."
They had you guys watching it before the second.
No.
plane hit?
I think it was just like
After
re-footage.
that.
Yeah, they just kept
Okay.
showing it, like, "Oh, this is."
I remember I was in a gym class, and who was the gym teacher?
Cook.
Cook.
Yeah,
Cook was. He just said, "Go play basketball," and he's got the TV.
or Walls, maybe it was Walls.
It was Cook,
I was Cook.
and he's got the TV out in the hallway, and he's just watching it.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the planes hitting, and then my mom came and got me, and then we're driving home, and she goes, "Look up," because we live in St. Charles where all the planes are coming down. She's like, "Look up in the sky. There's no fucking planes." I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
This is
She's like, "They
crazy.
grounded all the planes." I was like,
Man, I want to ask Carl who he was in. I don't know if it was maybe Mr. Miller or something. I think it was Mr. Miller, but he said that the news came in that they hit and he said Mr. Miller sat there and goes, "This means war." Got like super dramatic in front of everybody, and Carl was like, "Oh shit, this is serious. This is
wow.
But yeah, it was a weird day. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember. You remember Jonas? He was the German foreign
Yeah.
exchange student. he was talking about his mom. She cried.
Really?
Yeah, you know that. And I was curious because this was before my dad went back to Mexico, and I asked him, you know, are people in Mexico talking about it? He's like, oh yeah, everybody's talking
Yeah,
about it
everyone
because he said and Jonas said that everybody thought of America as like this untouchable country, like you couldn't touch it, and the fact that someone did, it made everyone else feel vulnerable. You know, it's
Yeah.
like when you go to a funeral and you don't really know the person, but you cry because you're thinking about, you know, your own mortality.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Like they weren't, you know, so upset about us, but it made them feel so much vulnerable that, wow, if the United States can get hurt, anyone can. And, you know, this could be, like you said, a world war.
I remember the next day I went back to school, and I was good buddies with Shetty David. He was of Middle Eastern descent.
Yeah.
And he was not there that day.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think his mom kept him and his sister out of school that day. And I mean, I don't know if
It was
what they were.
connected.
No. I think their parents are just scared of, you know,
Retaliation.
what the farm white kids will do to the Middle Eastern kids. But
There's a story. I'd have to look it up on Snoops, but there's a story that I guess there's a college there. I don't know if it's New York University or what, but you can see the World Trade Center from this college. And one of the Middle Eastern students said he was laughing and looking at the towers, and the teacher was like, "What are you laughing at?" This is before they got hit, and he said, "In a few weeks, those won't be here."
oh my
Yeah,
God.
I heard that story. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like maybe they
Jeez.
all like knew about it. You know, it was like a Muslim press release or something.
Did
But
you ever
here's-
see? Did you ever see any of the home videos shot from people like living in downtown Manhattan where that happened? And,
Yeah.
and they're like a plane. The first plane flies in, and they're videotaping. They're like, I remember this like teenage girl's like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" And then the second plane flies in. She's like, "Ah!" She's like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
And they were like,
freaking out.
"We gotta get." They're like up in the high rise. They're like, "We gotta get out of here." Jeez, it was so insane, man.
Okay, so this building was 52 floors. That's so fucking 743 feet. So
the-
bigger than the arch.
Yeah,
It's
it'd be
100
the tallest building in St. Louis
Yeah.
if it was here.
Yep. So it's not a small building. I mean, this is a skyscraper. And this is how it fell from office fires. Oh. Is that fucking scary?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a demolition. It does, but I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what
See, and I'm not either. But
I don't know.
There's a group, I think it's like 1,000 people or maybe more. They're architects and engineers. It's like 1,000 people, 1,000 engineers against the World Trade Center Commission report.
Oh,
or
really?
9/11 Commission report, where they're basically saying we're putting our education on the line, our degrees on the line, to say that is impossible.
Wow.
And they're architects and engineers saying that right there that we just saw is impossible. But
I'm gonna agree with that because I do have firefighting background experience and have been through fire academy. I can tell you right now,
that's impossible.
that's impossible because I've been in fires, I've been in buildings, and I've never ever seen anything like that.
I'll tell you what, he's playing this over and over again, and it looks like any building demolition I've ever seen before.
Yeah, it's and what's
It looks like a controlled demolition.
What's really scary, Rick, is what time the towers hit? 9:30 in the morning, 9 in the morning.
Did they had that building evacuated? I hope.
Yes, this one
okay.
was evacuated.
That's nuts,
But
man.
from 9, this is at 5:20 p.m. So this wasn't like a week of fires. This was a work day of fires from 9 to 5.
So, why? What would be the reason of taking that building down, though?
Well, there's a lot of documents in that building. This is the conspiracy theory, that there's a lot of things in that building that would be beneficial for them to get rid of.
Like what?
You know that $13 trillion we were talking about the
Oh.
Federal Reserve losing?
I thought that happened in 2006.
Well, supposedly there's some paper trails or something in that building. I don't know. I had to find out exactly what the theory is, but There was a reason for this building to go down.
Mike, can you blow that up?
Oh yeah,
For
yeah,
me.
yeah. Maybe let me
Watch
start
that
it
one more
over.
time.
See, what's really weird is look how the middle bows in. Just bloop,
Yeah.
the middle just goes down and then free fall.
If you look at the top and the middle like you're talking about, and then look dead center, so mid-level, and see how it starts to shatter. That's what I'm telling you. That's impossible. Look at the sides and then look at the center.
Boop. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
a controlled demolition.
Right.
But here's what's.
If anyone, what's the title of this video? If anyone wants to look it up.
Yeah, this one is called 30-second reel of Building 7 collapse. So it's just multiple views. Now, the other side of this building is it's got damage. You know, this side looks perfect. It looks like just a building. The other side does have damage to where the towers fell and some debris hit it.
Yeah.
But even so, if it's that perfect on that side and there's damage on the backside, you would think it would fall not perfect like that, you know,
Yeah.
not in its own footprint. But and there's other things
But
too.
I
like,
could see why when two 110-story buildings come down, it might take a couple buildings down around it, you know?
Yeah. I would agree with that too, but not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that just seems too perfect, you know?
And the thing is, you got to think about, too, you're talking almost 6-7 hours later.
Yeah,
after
from
both
9 to
buildings-
5. Yeah,
Correct.
there's 5:25 after. It's just
You got a bunch of people running around. You got visual sighting maybe 10 feet ahead of you from all the debris. So, I mean, anyone can do anything to that building in any amount of time. If you got a gas mask, you're set. You can go in there and do whatever you want. You got more visibility than the average person that was there that day.
It's amazing how many firefighters have perished from this event.
Speaking of firefighters, have you guys ever heard of the EMS call and the fire call where it talks to all the firefighter communications to dispatch? Have you guys ever heard that? It's about 4 hours long,
Oh,
and I'll
shit.
tell you what, it's pretty intense.
And it's just
It's dispatch talking to the firefighters, which is talking to command. So they're doing the whole operation from when you get there to when you respond to when you're in a building. So it's basically telling you what to do, like an aerial attack. So it's
Dang.
basically putting the ladders up and trying to control it. But the thing is, their sticks are only about 105 feet. And these buildings are way taller than that. So you're not
Yeah.
going to have any
Yeah.
kind of direct hit on it.
yeah.
So what they do is they actually, like when we go to the casinos and stuff, you see the hoses in there.
yeah.
So they have them roughly every 100 feet. They have them in the aerials, and that's what happens. But the thing is, by the time they got up there, it takes 2 hours to get all the way up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the thing is, it was poor planning. But again, I blame that on the government because there's so many different things they could have done, and they just don't do it.
Well, I mean, there was actual. They actually had planes stand down, right? Did you
What do you
read
mean?
anything about that? Like we have an aviation protocol that if a plane is a threat to people that they have a right to shoot it down, or
Yeah.
they can.
Mhm.
They had planes stand down that day. Like they didn't allow any planes to intercept any of these planes, any jet fighters.
Oh, they didn't allow that?
They didn't allow them. Like, and I think it was Dick Cheney. Like, was the one making the call. Like, yeah, we're standing down. You're standing down.
He said don't shoot them
Don't. Yeah. Don't even
Wasn't
follow
there-
them. We didn't even have
Oh.
planes like, because you see hijackers. Oh, these two jets come up and say, "Hey, where are you at? What are you doing?
And they
You're
just
off
down it.
course. You need to," and they'll kind of like
Yeah.
direct the plane where to go. None of that happened.
Wasn't that another conspiracy theory that the plane that went down over Pennsylvania was shot down?
I've heard that too. That people
Mhm.
saw fireballs before, like
Mhm.
it went down.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew what the fuck was going on with this thing.
What's going on?
I don't know why my internet's not working.
I'm going to kind of put...
Oh, you got charter?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
yours is working, right?
Yeah, I
It's-
figured out it was actually really dumb. It was actually my fault. I thought it was charter, but my phone kept connecting to my Chromecast. So instead of to Charter. So
But I mean, your
I was like,
computer,
this piece of shit.
your computer
Mine
right now.
is working, yes.
See, it's the computer, and I think it's because I was connected to Work's thing. Yeah, it's fucking failed. Okay, but yeah. So, what do you think, Rick, about 9/11? Inside job?
For sure. This is what I think
Oh
about.
shit! Here we go.
So, since I'm the oldest in the group, not saying I'm that old, but anyways, I would say, with me being oldest in the group and kind of realizing a little bit more than everyone, no offense, think about it. Bush Sr. was in office back in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And that's when we started getting along with bin Laden. We started giving them goods. We started teaching, basically train Afghanistanians how to fight for war, okay? They were buddy-buddy. There's pictures of them, so on and so forth. Well, then Bush comes in office, Bush Jr., and I remember the day, what we were talking about earlier, what you were doing that day. I remember watching a documentary of Bush reading a book to kids, which you might have seen this.
I've seen that.
And all of a sudden, one of his guys comes over and whispers, and Bush just kind of has that oh shit look on his face, but like, I really don't give a fuck, and I'm not going to do anything. Continues reading with the kid, doesn't excuse himself to get out. We got to get something going now. Something's going on. That was kind of scary because the thing is, he was buddy-buddy, and I'm not sure if you heard me talking. His dad, when he was in office, he was training bin Laden.
Yeah, they're all oil people.
They're all oil people.
Yeah.
They're all buddy-buddy. So this all makes sense to me. The Bushes and people in Afghanistan, bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, all them guys. It's all undercover job. All of it.
Dang, you're going out on a limb, man.
I am going on a limb, but the thing is, you got to think about it. Put two and two together. I'm going to ask you right now, if you were the president and I came up to you and I was your Secret Service guy and said, Mike, World Trade Center 1 and 2 just got hit. What are we going to do about this? What would be your response?
The part that scares me the most about that scenario is that guy came up to him and all he said was, America is under attack. That's what they said that he said, which scares me that he didn't just get up like you're saying and get into action. Now I know he's the president and he's probably thinking to himself, there's really nothing I can do. There's other people that are more equipped. You know, they're handling it. But I mean, I'm just trying to think like George Bush, like, there's probably not much I can do anyway. I'm just gonna sit here and read this book.
The first thing he probably wondered was, is my oil refineries okay? To be honest with you, that's probably the first thing he thought about.
No, but in that video you're talking about, it almost looks like he has this.
Can we
moment.
pull that up real quick?
I'll see if I can get it to
Please.
load. But it seems like he has this moment of like, did I do the right thing? You know, like he's got that look on his face, like,
Are you talking about when he's at the elementary school?
yeah, reading the book. I don't even know he could read.
Because think, when we went to war, we went to Afghanistan. All the equipment that they have is from Bush Sr. So pretty much we're fighting the guys that we just trained, that his dad trained. So you're going to wait almost 12 years to come over and attack. I mean, let's put two and two together. I'm telling you, Mike and Jim, it's an undercover job.
It's that's scary to think.
But I mean, there's logical explanation for it right there. I mean, I kind of threw it out there. I mean, what do you think? Do you think I'm going way out on a limb, or does it kind of make sense to you?
I always look, anytime there's an event or anytime there's something that you can point a motive to, there's always a chance. And to me, yeah, there's definitely a motive for the United States to be
The way
over
I
there.
look at it is, I don't think it was an inside job, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
Yeah.
If it ever came out that it was, I would be like, wow. You gotta be. I'd be kind of shocked, but I'd be like, I believe it though.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so let me
fucking
ask
believe
you this: do you think Bush Sr. or Jr. knew about this situation before it happened?
Now that is the most likely of events, if any of that went down. I could see them maybe knowing that there's a probability of that happening and them not doing anything about it because they think to themselves, well, if this does go down, I can't do a very good George Bush.
We're gonna let these buildings fall.
If this does go down, we'll be able to get in the Middle East.
And the thing is, you got to think
man.
about it too. They have oil refineries, correct? And that's when gas shot up, went up immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
what we haven't talked about is George Bush was in Skull and Bones. Both George Bushes,
Yeah.
Oh.
they were in Skull and Bones. So maybe this has been fucking mapped out for years.
Yeah, Rick,
Yeah.
who is in Skull and Bones.
But I mean, I want you guys to watch this video.
Dude, this fucking computer's a piece of
and
shit.
you guys just tell me what you think. I'm gonna sit back and just observe what you
Well,
guys get out
keep
of this.
keep talking while it's loading. What
Okay.
else can I've watched a thing about George Bush Sr. and was it Preston Oil or what the fuck? What oil company do they own?
I think they own
Prescott? No, that's his dad's name.
They own part of Western Oil. I do know that. A percentage of that.
Anyway,
Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers.
You know, part of Texas Rangers.
They own part of Chuck Norris too, I think. But
But he, I mean, they were into some fucking crazy shit.
and that's the
Those
thing,
Bush
man.
families.
Like, I mean, we're going back to government again, but it just shows you how our president can be shady as hell and
Oh,
just
yeah.
do all kinds of shit.
Well, we said this last weekend. I think every president after JFK has been a puppet president. I think it's
Yeah.
someone that they've appointed, that they've planned out. This is who we're going to be. And you know how this is one thing that fucking freaks me out. Like how I know the media just fucking plants seeds in our head. You remember those commercials where it was like a family doing a normal thing or a doctor doing a normal thing, and at the end of the commercial would be like, and I'm a Mormon. Do you remember those?
No.
You have to remember those. They were played like every fucking day, just showing you like how Mormons are normal people. Like it's a guy working on his yard and mowing the grass. It's like, and I'm a Mormon. Well, a
They
year.
show him fucking his wife.
Yeah,
I'm a Mormon.
Dude, you don't remember those?
No.
Oh my
know.
God, they were fucking everywhere. Well, then a year later, not even a year later, fucking what's his name's trying to become president, Romney.
Oh, Romney.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I'm just like, when he came out, to declare his presidency, running for president, I'm like, these motherfuckers, they've been planting in my head that
I do
Mormons
remember
are
the
normal.
commercials where they said a message from Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And those are kind of corny commercials.
But-
you know what commercials I do remember?
Which
And
one?
they're still happening. And how come all the AT&T commercials and the home security commercials, it's always a white guy breaking in the house?
That's true.
At least they could have a black buddy with them, you know? Like, hey, come on. Come on, Tyrone, help me out here. Or like an Asian buddy or something,
Yeah.
you know? An Asian isn't very stereotypical, you know?
Dude, there's a actually I should have told you guys to lock the doors. There's a kid or a guy or somebody that's going through this neighborhood breaking into cars that are open.
Oh, mine, I always lock my doors.
The lady down the street had her gun stolen out of her car the other day.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I should buy a hard top, basically?
If you're coming over to this gang town.
Awesome.
Your Jeep is like the new houses that they build today. You can just kick in the fucking the side of the fucking house and just walk on in.
So basically, you're calling my Jeep a piece of shit. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we are.
Well,
God.
if you got a utility knife, I can get
Hey,
in
it's
there.
better than a taxi cab because
I
I
got-
do give you rides home.
I
now,
got
so.
four cylinders and I get 4 miles to the gallon.
By the way, Rick, we need to start a fund for you to get new tires because I'm afraid you're going to be
Dude,
going
those are going to blow up.
I'm afraid you're going to be going 60 miles an hour down the highway and boom.
Hey, man, I'm just like everyone else. I just want money.
Go
Totally.
on, get it.
Here's the video.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this isn't going to work.
Okay. Well,
But,
I can remember what
yeah, we all know what
everyone
it is.
even listening remembers that video of
Yeah.
him sitting in the elementary school and they whisper to him, Mr. President, World Trade Center number 1.
Is that,
two.
see, I thought he said United States is under attack. I thought
No.
that's what they said was what was
No,
said.
it was the second building was hit. Isn't that what they told him?
I don't know.
You know what?
I think they told him that the second building was hit, so then he kind of knew. But I mean, and they just kind of sat there.
Yeah,
But
could've
really, what
sworn-
if he? It's not like he has to be like controlling everything. I mean, there's things in place for, I mean, it's not like he has to be pulling the strings.
Right,
for
but
Yeah.
the
everything
thing
to
that
go
gets me
down.
though is
America is under attack was exactly what
Oh.
he said.
Is it?
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
NBC News. He told Bush that America is under attack.
Who really? That's what you tell the president, though. You just instead of saying a second plane hit the tower, you just go, "America is under attack."
I mean, they probably have like scripts, like they have to say certain things in certain situations.
No, I think if I was the president, I'd be like, "Tell me what's happening."
Well,
Not-
you gotta think
not
about
saying,
it though.
So, not. I wouldn't. I mean, he just says America's under attack, and he knows what that means. He knows the second plane hit.
Well, that's what they're saying is he should, if that's exactly what was said, he should have had a reaction.
Okay, yeah. Which is why I don't believe that was said. So he knows that a plane hit the tower, and that's all he knows. And then this guy comes.
He doesn't know anything yet.
Oh, he doesn't even know that a plane hit.
No,
one
he doesn't,
plane hit.
he
the
doesn't even
tower.
know the first plane hit.
He has no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I never knew that.
So
I
like
thought-
when you're seeing that video, sorry, Mike, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
But when
fine.
you're seeing that video, that's his first initial reaction to knowing what's going on,
Wow.
and that's why it makes me sick to see. that,
Wow.
'cause
You
he
know
does
what? I
nothing.
never knew why that was such a big deal. Because I thought they just told him the second plane hit the tower.
But now
I didn't know he just came up and was like, "Sir, America's under attack,"
and he just sat
and he
there.
just goes,
Yeah, but Spot's about to get
They continue
This
reading his
story's
book.
good.
You know?
You guys remember that Comedy Central show, Little Bush?
"Oh yeah,
That was so awesome.
yeah." Wasn't that was like before 9/11, wasn't it? I think it was. It was like his first year.
Might have been.
Yeah.
But I remember his brother Jeb Bush was in it.
Oh
And he was just played like retarded. Jeb Bush. Just like a retarded guy.
Yeah, I remember that was right after he became president because that was probably 15 years ago.
Speaking of
Gosh, that's crazy.
Jed Bush, did you guys hear that he's running?
That's
yeah.
crazy. It's so funny that,
He can't think that he can win, right?
oh my God, I hope not.
Bush has got a lot of money. Money talks.
And that's the thing I hate about politics. We are
Americans
so
haven't
dumb.
loved Bush since. Well, I was going to say the 70s, but that would make any sense.
But we're such an uninformed public that we really will vote for whoever they tell us to. We watch our commercials. This magic box on the nightstand just tells us this is who you're going to vote for. This person's a piece of shit, and whoever has the most money can tell you who to vote for.
It's kind of ridiculous that if things play out to where we have a choice between a Bush and a Clinton,
Oh my gosh,
how can this be a free country?
that's true. It's
We have
almost
a
like
choice
royalty.
between a Bush and a Clinton.
It's royalty. Once they get in,
And even the two-party system is so fucked. Like, in almost every other country, they have, like, 16 different parties.
yeah. Jesse Ventura is a crazy motherfucker, but everything he's ever said about the two-party system, I agree with him 100%.
Yeah.
He wrote this book called Democrips and Rebloodlicans, saying like they're gangs.
Yeah.
And man, that everything he said was fucking on the money.
If there's ever a third party in the middle, it would win every time. It would. The only reason the third party can't develop is because each party's afraid of taking away votes from their own party, like
Yep.
there's been candidates like Ron Paul and
Remember Ross Perot?
Ross Perot,
Yeah.
and Rand Paul kind of is sort of that way, but he's going to run as a Republican. And
Yep.
it's like you have to be under one of these two parties. You can't.
It's funny. Every article I see about Rand Paul is the big media companies just ripping him apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like how he's such a piece of shit. He came out the other day and said that he said something about vaccines. Like
Yeah.
maybe we do need to do more research, and they were all just like ripping him apart saying he's so stupid, and not once did they mention in the article that he's a fucking doctor. Like, he went to
Yeah.
medical school. Like, it just pissed me off that they never even mentioned that. Like, this is an I don't know if he's an MD, but he is a doctor. He's an ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist.
That's it. The eye doctor.
Yeah.
He's an eye doctor. And I mean, he's had more medical classes than most people talking about vaccines.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the people doing that was Jon Stewart, which I like. I like him. I think he's funny, but some of the times he's just so far off, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and he's always ripping on Rand Paul.
Yeah.
and just constantly ripping on him. It's like, and a lot of people, they get all their political material from Jon Stewart, you know. So it's like he's just kind of throwing him under the bus.
And all of those media outlets, they all get their stories from one place. Have you seen that fucking... Man, I wish the fucking internet was working. Have you seen that Conan O'Brien bit that they do? Where they show, like, all the local media, like all the news channels. Like,
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
it's like the same exact story, or they use the
Yeah.
same line. And everybody
They're
thinks
all
it's
using
so
the same
funny.
line, except for like one reporter will change like a word
Yeah.
here and there.
And everybody thinks it's so funny. Like, oh, that's so funny. To me, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That all these local news places are getting their information. And I asked one of Carl's buddies. You know, they all are
Yeah.
in journalism. And I asked him. I said, why is this? Is it just because they all have a shitty, corny joke meter that like makes them make similar jokes, or are they getting their stories? And he said that basically there's this one database, like the AP, that they all get their stories from this, and
Yeah.
like they're told what to put on and what to report on.
And the reason I think they do is because it kind of does the work for them, you know.
Yeah.
That way they don't have to come up with their own shit.
yeah, we're
And
just lazy.
Yeah, but it's the way they kind of control the media, you know.
Yeah.
So
No, it's the media is a scary mud the trucker. All right, Rick, what do you got, man? Let's see. We talked about 9/11. Rick thinks actually George Bush was in the driver's seat of one of the planes.
took a parachuted out,
I actually
and went.
think both of them are in the driver's seat.
I'm gonna sit on my daddy's lap.
So basically, you're getting double bushwhacked, but you know.
bushwhacked.
But basically, we kind of covered what I had going on tonight. We talked about drugs a little bit, talked about taxes, but we can kind of go into it further since we just kind of touched a little bit of it. And I think I want to go towards drugs because we haven't really.
I got something I just want to bring up real quick that's
Yeah.
related, which I don't know if we'd ever be able to do this because of jobs and you guys are married and have kids, a lot of you. If we did a podcast about
podcast.
a podcast about weed, and we took a weekend trip to Colorado.
And just went and got. Well, if it's legal, we could do
It's
it.
legal technically. Like, okay, so if I got injured at work, I would have a drug test. I'd be drug tested.
Oh, okay.
Which, here's a funny story. There's this guy that worked there. He injured himself, tested positive for weed. And he said, "Well, I'm in a band. It's a contact high."
Yeah.
And they said, "Okay, you're off for a month. You're suspended for a month. Come back in a month, and you test negative. Then you're hired again. We'll take you back."
Okay.
Came back in a month later, tested positive again, and they go, "Okay, you're fired." You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Idiot.
but yeah, I kind of wonder what my work would do if I injured myself, tested positive, and I was like, "Well, I was just in Colorado last weekend."
yeah.
You know, like,
I was in a bar in Colorado and they were
Yeah.
smoking it everywhere. It was getting me high.
yeah. But I kind of wonder if you guys would ever be down for that.
I'd like to go to Colorado.
Just for it's close enough. It's what 10
12
hour-
hours.
12
Yeah.
hour
Yeah.
drive.
10, 12 hours.
So maybe we would take off on a Friday or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not even. We just leave. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe take off on Friday because
Yeah,
you
then
need
we
a day
get
to
there.
drive both ways.
Yeah.
So we'd pretty much be there for Friday night, Saturday, and then leave Sunday morning.
Yeah. Dude, I would do that. I love Colorado.
I'd be down for that. I've never done any kind of drugs, so
Yeah.
See, the thing I would want to try, which I thought would be better, would be the the edibles,
Dude, that'll fuck you up.
which I heard, that edibles like it
I won't
makes
be
you
able to do that.
hallucinate.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that. I'll go fucking crazy.
So is that
Yeah.
like basically putting it in a brownie?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they sell like cookies and all this stuff.
Okay.
pretty much anything. I think that's THC is like a fat soluble chemical. So anything with butter in it, they can cook with and put it. I mean, they have it in candy. They have it in soda. They have
Wow.
it in everything.
Wow, soda. So I wonder, like, let's say I ate a cookie. I guess, do you think I'd be tripping pretty good, or?
Oh my! You'd be. The thing about it is that when you eat it, it metabolizes in your liver,
Mm-hmm.
so it lasts way longer and it's way more intense. So like a
Yeah,
I
I heard. Yeah, it like makes you hallucinate.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
it's like a different drug than when you smoke it.
Yeah.
when you eat
and
it.
that's the thing is a lot of people don't realize that marijuana is actually, you know how when we were in DARE we did like depressants and stimulants and hallucinogens, like those are
Mhm.
the three main types of drugs. THC is actually a hallucinogen, but when you smoke it, you don't get the full effect of the THC. So, and some people do hallucinate. I mean, the couple times that I've ever tried marijuana, I mean, I've fucking. I gotta tell a story later.
Okay.
I'll tell it later. But yeah, when you eat it, you get the full fucking effect of it, and you fucking.
So how long? If let's say I ate a cookie, how long do you think that high would last?
It'd probably take like an hour to kick in.
Oh,
and then,
really? An
yeah.
hour?
Well, that's the thing. You have to digest it, and
Oh.
you have to wait for that chemical to get to your liver and actually be processed, and then. I mean, it can last 3, 4, 5 hours or more, and you're sitting there like,
Wow.
that's the thing about,
Wow, that could be dangerous. Like, not really. I guess you can't really overdose, but let's say you eat one, you wait like 10 minutes, you're like, this shit's not working.
oh,
You eat another one?
Yeah. That's
Come
what
on,
happens.
what the hell's going?
That's
You
what
eat fucking
happens.
6 cookies,
That's
and
what
then it starts
happens.
kicking in.
Have you heard that the 911 call, the cop who like I guess took some home that he confiscated?
Oh, you know what? I heard
And
about
he
that. I
called,
didn't
he's
hear
like,
that.
we're dying. Space and time are gone. We're fucking dead.
So if you did that, if you did that in Colorado, I guess you wouldn't really get.
I think everybody's just walking around doing that in Colorado. Everybody's just like, ah! Rocky Mountain High.
Did you hear that? People are doing their taxes and getting huge refunds from the state because the state has so much money now.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's
Dude, they
insane.
need to totally legalize marijuana. And that's the thing is, people aren't going to just go out and be like, okay, I'm a fucking pothead now. Like if it was legal in Missouri, I wouldn't smoke it. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't be like a smoker. I wouldn't buy a pack of pot. You know, like I don't smoke cigarettes. I wouldn't. It's not like everybody would just go out and do it. But the people that do it, give them the ability to do it. It's them. It's their
Yeah.
fucking body. It's their fucking mind. Let them do it.
Yeah, I'd probably try it more often. I mean, I've tried it 3 times and it just wasn't my thing. You know.
Yeah,
I just kind of sit there and. You know?
See, I
It's just
had-
kind of stupid to me, but
And I don't know if it's just because I'm crazy or
Mhm.
what, but it has a fucking crazy effect. Like I
Really?
actually had the first time. I don't know if it was the first time, maybe the second time I ever did it. I was with my cousin-in-law, and he had this GTP, like a Pontiac, it's a 4-door, and we're driving. And he's like, "Oh, you should try this." So I try it, and we're driving, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's getting hot in here. It's really fucking hot." I was like, I need to roll down this window. So I go to roll down the window, and then I go, oh, fuck. What if that's like the handle to open the door? Oh, shit, I probably shouldn't do that. So I sat there a little longer. I'm like, but I'm getting really fucking hot. I better roll this down. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if that's the window or the thing to open the door. So I'm sitting there debating, like, okay, there's 2 things. It could either be the door or the window. That's a 50-50 chance that I'll survive and not fall out of this car. If I sit here and don't open the window, there's a 100% chance I'm going to die of heat exhaustion. Like, this is the conversation I'm having in my head. So I'm like, I go down, I put my finger on the window, and it's just like a window button. Like,
Yeah.
you would never think that that's going to open the fucking door. And I just like, oh, yeah, it was like the greatest moment of my life because I literally cheated death. Like, in my mind, I've cheated fucking death. But, like, yeah, I get super paranoid. Like, everybody's after me. Everything I do could kill me. You know, I get really fucked up. That's why I can't do it. I've done it a few times, and every time I'm just like,
Okay, so from St. Charles to Denver, Colorado, which we wouldn't have to go that far. It's 12 hours, 45 minutes, but that's going the speed limit. So we could
So what was it? 12 hours and 45 minutes.
12 hours, 45 minutes. So I think we could
Get
do it in
there.
11
Yeah,
hours.
we can get 11 hours.
So
So if we leave at 9 at night, we get there 9 in the morning.
8.
8 in the morning.
Well, we'd probably stop. So,
yeah,
yeah.
get gas and
So it'd
shit,
probably be
so-
told 12 hours.
Yeah.
If we went with Carl, 14.
Yeah, we get 4 or 5 people together.
You
Do it.
remember when we took the road trip to Vegas?
Uh-huh.
So I remember this one stop vividly. We stopped, get gas.
Oh, I do
Get-
remember this.
We
This
all
happened numerous times.
This was
but
like an hour and a half stop. It was like the longest stop
we
of the trip
ate,
by far.
yeah,
we
yeah.
ate. We fucking got sodas, stocked up on fucking snacks. We stopped for an hour, hour and a half. No shit. And we're like, okay, we're all refreshed. We're ready to go. All right, guys, let's all get in. We're refueled, ready to go. Carl's like, guys, I'm going to go take a shit real quick. We're like, are you fucking kidding me? We're all getting in the car right now. Everyone's ready to go. Carl, we've been here for an hour and a half. Carl goes, takes a shit. So we're there in another 15, 20 minutes. Like,
God.
I just got one question.
funny.
Did he need to take a shower after that? Or-
I used to joke with him because whenever I would call the house, like before cell phones were around, every time his mom would answer, she'd say he was taking a nap, and every time his dad would answer, he'd say he was in the shower. And I'm just like, do you two just have like a fucking, like, does he tell each of you to lie that he's not? No, he's really, he's really in the shower. Either this kid's always sleeping or always in the shower, or you guys are fucking lying that I can't talk to him.
jeez.
It was funny.
That was a weird thing when you used to call people.
Yeah,
I just text everyone now.
I know.
Except for a few, like my grandparents, I call them.
yeah.
And
I think
That's
I always
about it,
feel
really.
rude on the phone now because my mom calls me,
oh,
and I'm just like, yeah,
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 it's kind of weird.
uh-huh. Like, I
It's,
don't
it's
wanna
weird when
fucking
people
talk.
call me. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, stop calling me.
Like, it's funny. Like some of the older guys at work, we're kind of like training them to text because it's just so much easier.
Yeah.
Especially with my boss. My boss, man, he'll just go on and on about nothing. And I'm on the phone with him. I'm trying to drive or trying to do something. I'm like, all right, man. Well, and I'm just from now on, like, I just try to text him and just. It's so much easier.
See, I'm really good at like body language and vocal cues. Like when
Mhm.
someone wants to get off the phone with me or wants me to stop talking, I can tell.
Oh yeah,
It seems like there's maybe 10% of the people in the world that know that.
yeah, they're clueless.
They're just. I used to hate sitting in classes, and you would have this person talking to another person, and this person's trying to pay attention, and you can tell they're like,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
person will not stop. You just want to grab this person. Shut the fuck up! They don't want to listen to you anymore. But it used to make me. You ever get that empathy embarrassment, like where you
Yeah.
feel embarrassed for
Yeah.
someone else? It's like, oh, I hate that feeling. But
So, Mike, is that something you'd be able to do? The Colorado trip, if we
Yeah.
planned it like a month in advance.
yeah, but we're leaving in May 5th for
Mhm.
Florida.
I'm leaving in March for Vegas,
Oh, that's right.
so
The big
maybe
wedding.
it'd have to be a June thing.
Yeah, that'd be a good month to go to Colorado. I think June.
I'm down.
I could do it.
I'm down. So I have something I want to bring back up that we got into last time, but we didn't really get into it that much. And I really used to be into this a lot, but it was aliens. Aliens visiting our planet.
Ooh,
You know what-
does
you know
like
what-
some aliens.
Illegal aliens. Like yourself. And Rick's girlfriend.
Wife.
So anyway. Whoa! Man, I really hope she doesn't listen to this.
I know.
I hope her mom doesn't listen to this.
If we can be honest, though, no one is listening
No
to
one
this
is.
far into it.
I
anyway.
listen to him at work. That's about it. I'm all 1,000 minutes actually.
Nice. But, so the first, what really got me into, like, kind of even thinking about this was just the History Channel, all their goddamn UFO fucking shows. And it kind of, the way they make them, it's like, yeah, I guess it's a possibility. But the guy that actually made me kind of believe that is probably a real thing that these are visiting our planet. Have you guys ever heard of Stephen Greer?
I'm not sure.
He was big in the early 2000s. He got together a bunch of people from the military. He like kind of went through, made sure they had clearances or whatever. They're from Air Force or whatever, and kind of got their testimonies of of what they've seen. And it kind of, he got, I guess it was like police, pilots, Air Force pilots, generals, like
so like
all
reputable people.
reputable people, and kind of vetted them, and kind of, he has like thousands of hours of video testimony from these people. And I was just watching this and just in disbelief, like, holy shit, you know, all these people are, you know, reputable people. That it's insane what they saw, you know. It's like either we have technology that is, you know, 100 years above what we think we have, or we have aliens visiting us.
I don't know. It's gosh. It just seems like anytime I see a picture, I'm always thinking, really, that's what they have? Like,
Yeah.
that's what they're flying?
Yeah.
Like this fucking thing out of the Jetsons?
And another reason, as cameras have gotten better and there's more of them everywhere, now
Uh-huh.
you don't see them anymore, you know?
Yeah.
That's-
yeah. You just see lights.
Yeah.
Like something you can't, you know.
It's like in the 90s, you had all this home footage. Do you remember the Phoenix Lights?
Yeah.
That one was kind of,
That was the triangle that
Yeah.
like lasted for a couple, like all night. And
yeah, I think it happened in 1997 over Phoenix. It was like a 3-mile wide, like, fucking triangle.
yeah.
And that one,
So why do you
It's
think
kinda
they're? Let's break it down to again the motives. I'm always interested in motives. Why
Mhm.
why are they coming here?
why, if you look at it, it didn't really start happening until World War II. So
Okay.
so you might think maybe,
So maybe an atomic bomb was like
Yeah.
a blip on their radar, and
yeah,
they said,
that
"Whoa,
could have been it.
what's
Yeah.
going on
Maybe
here?"
they're like, they kind of visit planets, make sure that once they get to this point, they're not fucking destroying themselves, you know,
Yeah.
or destroying the planet.
See, I read this article. I read it and I was so fucking depressed afterwards, and it was about like why we haven't seen alien life forms yet, and it was basically saying that they've have to have come here. They have to have
Mm-hmm.
because we're a pretty young planet.
Mhm.
Our star is pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
So there's other stars out there that are 5-6 billion years ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the, you know, even if it's a 1 in a billion that life can exist,
Mm-hmm.
there's at least hundreds or thousands of planets like ours where actual intelligent life can be on it. And they were saying that, you know, if we went from an airplane to dropping the atomic bomb in 50 years, you
Yeah.
know, what could you do in 1,000,000 years? What can you do in 2,000,000 years? There
Yeah.
should be things that are so advanced. And they were saying that there's only a few reasons to why these things aren't visiting us. And one is we're really not worth it. Like, would you go watch a bunch of ants? Like, would you
Mhm.
watch an ant farm? Probably
No.
not. That's not their thing. Or we're in like such a weird place in the galaxy. Like, we're just way off in just like this, like the hood. Like,
Yeah.
no one's going to come here. It's like the ghetto. No one cares about it. But one of them, the one that freaked me out, and this is the one that he ended up going with, that he thinks why. He thinks that it's a cycle, and that eventually intelligent life gets to a point where it either, one, destroys itself completely,
Mm-hmm.
or it knocks itself back to like the Dark Ages,
Yeah.
to where you can never get to that advanced level to actually move intergalactically,
Yeah.
because you're constantly in this cycle of getting to a good point and then bam, knocking yourself down. And it made so much sense to me because everything's like that. Everything's secular. I mean, if you watch, you know,
Yeah.
the seasons are secular. Everything is like that in nature. So to me, it made sense that, well, maybe we're like that. Maybe we get to a point where we can almost get there and then we knock each other down, or we kill ourselves completely.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a possibility. There's two other possibilities that I think are more likely. One more likely over the other. one being that, like, okay, why would we go visit an anthill, which we would at first visit anthills if we'd never seen an anthill before.
Mhm.
We'd visit 1, 2, 3, maybe 1,000. But, there's 10 million anthills. We're not going to visit all 10 million.
Yeah.
Why would we care after, the first 100?
Uh-huh.
But the more likely reason would be maybe they've done this before and they realize they go and visit these planets with religions and that when they land, it fucking just shit goes to chaos. And people are like, oh my God, that's totally, it just fucks with their religion. And maybe they're kind of waiting until we get a little more advanced,
So what do you think? So do you think some of the previous religions or previous civilizations were visited, and that's maybe where some of their beliefs come from?
You know what? I could see early humans. They didn't really know what was happening. Maybe they prayed to the god, to like the sun or something, and then aliens maybe came down and was like, well, what the fuck's going on down here? And then they're like, oh, these are the new gods,
Yeah.
They came down and, you hear about all those crazy religions that they used to have in Egypt and, because humanity's been around for 250,000 years, and
Yeah.
it's like all the religions we have now are only 2,000-3,000 years old. So
It's crazy to think how old the fucking pyramids are.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to wrap your mind around how old.
how old do they think they are? 20,000 years old?
God.
Because I remember
Yeah,
they
but-
used to think they were like 10,000.
Yeah,
And then they're
now
like, no,
oh,
they're definitely
nope.
older than that. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Sphinx has like watermarks,
Yeah.
like water erosion, and water hasn't been in Egypt for fucking 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years.
Yeah.
So this thing's been sitting there way longer than the Egyptians. Like, the Egyptians just found it. They just found these pyramids and the Sphinx. They're like, oh, this is cool. Let's set camp here. Like, they didn't actually build it. This is like a fucking ancient people.
And there's a lot of people that think that humans have like had societies like we have today, but have destroyed themselves. And
I'm really getting to a point where I think that's what it is. I really think that.
they said that probably the only thing that would survive more than 10,000 years would be our bronze statues. That would be it.
Oh, like what we have now?
Yeah. Like, I guess maybe nuclear waste, if they found that. The containment, whatever they put that in, would be gone. But I guess the nuclear waste, they'd be able to detect that eventually. But usually we bury that shit underground. Like, if you go down 94 here, there's a huge fucking concrete burial ground for nuclear waste from
World War II.
Yeah, from World War II, and we were developing atomic weapons. So
That thing is scary. That thing's fucking. It's like leaking
Dude, I
into
didn't
the
even
water. Yeah.
I didn't even know that's what it was until about like a month ago. I was driving. I had a job out that way and was driving by every day, and then one of my coworkers told me what that was. I was like, oh, no way.
Yeah, Bush Wildlife was like a weapons place. Like, if you go into Bush Wildlife,
Mhm.
you right where you go to fish, like by the lakes. Well, you
Mhm.
can take some of those paths. You'll see huge bunkers, like World War II bunkers that used to be full of weapons and tanks. And there's tons of them in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that shit's seeping in the water. If you look at like graphs of cancer,
Yeah.
like in this area, like 62304, 62303, like the cancer rates are way higher than the average in the United States.
Shit.
And they think that has a lot to do with all that fucking uranium leaking into our groundwater.
Great. I drink nothing but tap water.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Carl makes fun of me because I give him shit because he drinks tap water.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't fucking touch tap water.
Yeah. Well, if they send that shit through a purifier and you drink it out of a water bottle, is it really going to take all that shit out?
See, we only drink spring water
Mm-hmm.
inside of plastic, which is full of chemicals.
Yeah. You know what I do, and I hear it's bad, but I buy a Gatorade bottle, and then I refill it with water every day for work.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that?
No, they said that the plastic comes off into the water over time, which I think is bullshit. I think it's what the water bottle companies want you to fucking hear, so you buy new water bottles every time. And you don't reuse their fucking... You know how fucking thin they make those bastards?
Now, yeah. Well, they say that with the 40% less plastic now than what it used to be. It's like half the bottle.
Profit. Profit.
Yeah, all
Profit.
money.
Profit.
It'd be funny
Fucking
that
ridiculous. So this guy, what the fuck did I say his name was? I got it right here. Stephen Greer that made all these videos with about the UFOs and all that. He pretty much thinks that the reason that like the government already knows about aliens and the UFOs, the reason they don't disclose it is because it would fuck with the oil market. Like the first thing, like if the government comes out and says there's aliens, we've like because of Roswell, like they say we've recovered craft and we back engineered these and whatever.
Yeah.
They'd say, well, then you should know, how these engines work, and obviously they're not running on fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And pretty much our whole global structure is run on fossil fuels. So,
Yeah, it would definitely fuck with the status quo. God, it's amazing how much power there is in oil.
yeah.
Do you know that that's the only reason that the dollar has any backing whatsoever?
Yeah, I heard it was backed by oil. And
It's-
I
yeah.
didn't really read into it too much.
They
but
made an agreement in the 40s. I don't know, one of the presidents, and they all got together and they agreed that the dollar is the only thing that they would use to trade oil.
Mhm.
Which is weird because if you look at all the countries that have tried to get off the dollar standard, the oil dollar standard,
Mhm.
they're all the ones that we invaded.
Oh, really?
Like Gaddafi, he was trying to get off it. Saddam Hussein, he was trying to get off it. And I mean, it makes sense though, because if that ended, we would be fucked. I mean, overnight. If they just said, "Guess what? We're not trading in dollars anymore." Overnight, the United States would be fucked.
Yeah.
Because all these countries would dump the dollar bills. And
Mhm.
if you dump all the dollars that they're holding, then again, that increases the amount of money and you're fucked.
Mhm.
But yeah, I could definitely see that that's why they're not telling people, oh yeah, they actually have they have a piece of thuranium that's the size of my finger and it runs this machine for 1,000,000 years.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we don't need oil anymore.
One of the exciting things about technology is supposedly solar panels should be able to provide all of our energy within the next 15, 20 years,
I believe it.
which would be awesome. 'Cause-
Adam works for
Mhm.
was it Sun Solar?
Mhm.
He says they're booming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting better and better. I think it's one of those technologies that's growing exponentially. So
Mhm.
each year it doubles.
Yeah.
So just think about, let's say 10 years from now, you pay 10 grand to get solar panels put on your house. You have no electric bill. You're actually getting paid from the electric company, and you have an electric car. So you're not paying gas either, unless
Yeah.
you drive over, 70 miles a day or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So just think about if you don't have an electric bill or a gas bill. That would save me during certain months $500 a month.
Yeah.
And just think, if you have an extra $500 a month, that's you definitely are more like free,
Yeah.
Just think what you could do with $500 extra bucks a month.
It's amazing how much of my money just goes to someone else.
Yeah. And it's kind of ridiculous, and it's something that you have to pay, It's
Mhm.
like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think solar. I actually talked to Adam a couple times about solar, and he said that right now the solar industry is waiting on battery technology to catch up,
Yeah.
because he says once that happens, when batteries are more efficient and can last longer and aren't as they're really bad on the environment right now, but he says once that battery technology catches up, that's going to fucking take off, because you won't have to be connected to the power company. You'll have your own fucking database of batteries.
And the guy that is totally redefining like the batteries right now is Elon Musk.
Oh, that was weird, huh?
Have you heard of Elon Musk? You know who that is?
Uh-uh.
He's the guy that has created those Tesla vehicles
Oh, yeah.
and SpaceX. He used to run PayPal, and he sold that, and that's where he got all his money to start SpaceX and Tesla. But yeah, supposedly, man, they are like way ahead of anyone else with their batteries.
Yeah, the two newest battery technologies I've heard of is one's like a carbon-based battery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's almost like carbon fiber, and you can hold way more energy, and it's way more efficient. And then another one was it's like a glucose battery. It runs on sugar, and you just it metabolizes sugar in a similar way that like we do to create energy.
Wow.
And it just breaks the sugar down, and it creates an electrical current, and that's how the battery generates energy. So if your battery gets low, you just pour some Coke in it or something, and it's good to go again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
What the hell are you eating, Cooper?
You guys want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
July 20th, 1969. Man takes his first step on the moon.
The moon.
Or did he?
Bum, bum, bum.
Which, yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you guys didn't know that.
So
We landed on the moon!
Rick, did we land on the moon? Because the Bush guys have already fucking flown into the towers. So we need to know. This has got to be 1. 9/11 and the moon have to be 1 and 2 on the conspiracy theories list. I mean, they're up there.
Oh, yeah.
So let's hear.
JFK,
Ooh,
moon
JFK 's up
landing.
there too. But what do you think? Did we land on the moon?
Yes, I believe we did land on the moon.
Damn it. Am I gonna
Wait,
have
did humans land on the moon?
Ooh.
Yes.
Or just rovers?
I think, honestly, it happened thousands of years ago, to be honest with you.
What the
No,
This just took a turn I
what
wasn't
did you
expecting.
do?
you know what? This is why we talk about this stuff.
But,
And
hey,
everyone's got different opinions.
So how?
like we were just talking
What's
about
your-
earlier, though, we think maybe there was other civilizations
yeah.
before ours.
So
Is that what
you're
you're talking about,
you're
Rick?
saying one of those?
I'm thinking aliens.
Yeah, but we're talking about us.
Right, but I'm just saying, I think aliens were on the moon first, and then it became humans. But I think it happened a long time ago.
And what evidence do you have to back this up? You're just a crazy man.
No, because here's the thing: is they didn't have the technology back then that we have now.
The 60s?
No, I'm talking thousands of years ago. I'm talking a long.
Okay,
time ago.
so they didn't have the technology we have now, so that's how they landed on the moon?
Well, that's how. How do you know that no one landed on the moon before? How do
I
you know?
don't know, but I don't know that they did either.
But you got your opinion. I got mine. But there's no proof because we didn't have technology, had no computers, didn't have satellites, none of that. Existed.
Yeah, but you're giving me evidence to why they wouldn't have landed on the moon.
No, I'm giving you evidence that they did land on the moon.
You're
Thousands of
fucking
years.
blowing my mind right now. Are you getting this?
Okay, so let's talk about
I'm-
the time they landed on the moon in 1969, present day.
Yeah.
Just to keep
Rick's
in
fucking with us. I can tell.
just to keep in
Rick's
in
fucking
line
with
with what
us.
we were wanting to talk
God
about.
damn it, Rick. You had me going. I thought you were a fucking crazy person.
I still am crazy.
So I think we all believe that they did, but who could you play devil's advocate?
I
Mike?
will, because
Okay.
for the longest time I was like, no way.
Okay.
There's no way. And again, see, everything goes back to motivation. We were motivated to fake it because we wanted to beat the Russians. We wanted to be first. And there's a lot of shady shit that went on. You know, have you ever seen the videos of where they're acting like they're far away from the moon? And this is Neil Armstrong and was it Buzz Aldrin? And then who was the other guy? There was 3 of them.
Oh, no one gives a shit.
Yeah,
about
that
their
guy, no one knows.
Yeah, they'll never
But
remember him.
they're in the spaceship and they're supposed to be halfway to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's them looking at Earth and they're like, "Oh, look at Earth, isn't it so cool?" Well, the unedited version, it shows them that they have all the lights off and they're way far back in the back of the ship, and they just have the Earth in the window. But the Earth's filling the whole window, but they're so far back and it's all dark, it makes it look like the Earth is small.
Oh,
And everybody's saying, well, why would they fake footage like that if they really went to the moon.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
And then there's the radiation belt, like
Van Allen radiation belt.
Yeah, exactly. Saying that there's no way that humans can go outside of this belt because we would die from radiation. You would
Where
need, like,
is that belt exactly?
It surrounds the Earth, and Neil deGrasse.
So
Tyson-
it's past the where we have the International Space Station.
yeah, it's
Okay.
past the space station. But the way Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about it is, it's around the Earth, but towards the north and south poles. You can
Mhm.
kind of slip through it like
Yeah,
a donut.
Oh,
Kinda.
really?
Like it's around the Earth, but the tops and the bottoms are open,
So,
so you can kind of
so
go out
that's
as
the
an
way we
angle.
went through.
Well, that's another thing is you never hear
We
about.
went through. We left Texas.
Is it?
Unless we.
No, we left Florida.
Oh.
Texas was the command center.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So that means we flew kind of in the atmosphere up to the North Pole
I guess
or
like
South Pole.
because the way I always thought is like, okay, we couldn't survive. Like they said, you would need 6 feet of fucking lead, and the space shuttle was nothing but
Really?
to be able to get out of this. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I respect, who I'm assuming is not on the Illuminati payroll,
Yeah,
that he
because
said
he's black, they wouldn't let him in anyway.
those fucking racist Illuminatis. I think it's the Freemasons that are racist.
Oh, okay.
I think the Illuminati. Yeah, because they got Tupac on Illuminati.
Oh, yeah.
Or they couldn't convert Tupac because he's a real player.
So they
Hence
killed
why.
him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for the longest time, I'm just like, there was a lot of motivation to get there. We said that we were going to do it in an amount of time that's crazy. We didn't even have fucking colored TVs back then.
Yeah.
And we went to the fucking moon? Are you shitting me? There's more computer processing power in your fucking iPhone
Mhm.
than there was on the first 3 space shuttles that went to the fucking moon.
That is mind blowing.
How the fuck did we do that?
So I have four main reasons why I believe it's true, and I'll start with the weakest one first, and then you dispute it.
Okay.
The number one reason is we brought back rock samples.
Okay. I will dispute that with months before we went to the moon. They found fragments of the moon in Antarctica.
Okay.
And a NASA scientist was sent down there to recover these artifacts and brought them back. And basically what happened is I guess a meteor had hit the moon at one point and debris fell to the earth and we got the samples. And the samples that we sent to whatever country,
Mm-hmm.
they came back and said, no, this actually isn't part of the moon, and they tested it and said it isn't. So why would we, unless it was like a sick joke because America's fucking pricks, we're like, here's part of the moon. Not fags.
They're like, sir, this is a block of Swiss cheese.
The moon's made of cheese.
I heard it's actually made of barbecue spare ribs.
Oh, yeah. Who said that?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not it wasn't my original. Yeah,
Oh.
Will Ferrell,
Oh.
or was it Harry Carey?
Oh, is it him doing
I think it was Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey, but I don't think
in
Harry
the
Carey.
butt.
I don't think Harry Carey ever said that. Okay, so
So to answer your question, we found moon rock fragments on Earth.
that's why it was the weakest of my arguments.
okay. So let's go to the next
Here
one.
we're gonna step it up a little bit. Here's one. So we went 6 times. If we're gonna try to pull off a hoax, why not only do it once?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you go more than once?
You would think it would be more difficult to perpetuate the lie 6 times.
Yeah, but I mean, more
Especially with Apollo 13 when
shit went wrong.
shit went wrong. And-
See, what I hear is that that was all a farce too. Is
Mm.
because we went so many times in a row with nothing happening, where they were
Mhm.
like, and nobody cared anymore.
yeah.
So every time we went, you got to think of all the tax money that's getting poured in.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to the moon. We need billions of dollars to go to NASA. Please help us. Give us some tax money. So again, it goes to the motivation of dollars. So we kept going because of dollars. Well, once we got to a point, we were like, oh, we're going to the moon. Oh, this is stupid. Oh, we went to the moon. Oh, this is stupid. People weren't willing to give NASA money. So
Mhm.
what'd they do? They have to create some drama. Oh, Apollo 13. Oh my God, they're gonna die. They can't make it. Oh no. Oh, then people are interested again. They're all glued to the TV. Oh, give them more money. Give NASA more money. This is interesting. The drama's back. So to answer your question, we went multiple times because it was profitable to go multiple times.
Okay, that was a
I was
Pretty
pretty good off the fucking cusp.
pretty good point there.
I agree.
So the weirdest part about Apollo 13 was ooh. Tom Hanks. I mean,
I mean, how did he survive that and the island thing?
yeah.
That's bullshit.
So anyway, another point. The Soviets didn't dispute that we went to the moon. The moon.
The moon.
You know, if anyone was going to dispute it,
That is a tough one.
they would have.
Because that was the first thing I thought, because that was our motivation in the beginning, was to get to the moon, to beat them. Then they would do everything in their power to say, nope,
Mhm.
you guys are full of shit. We couldn't do it. There's no way. They were so much more experienced than us at that time.
Yeah.
They sent the first woman in space. They sent the first animal into space. They sent the first human
See, I
into
think
space.
they just took so many more risks that we weren't willing to take with human lives
Yeah.
that I think they weren't, who knows how many times they did it and it was a catastrophe, and then they finally got someone up there, out of, the 10th time they tried.
Mhm.
So if they're going to try to send someone to the moon, they only have enough money to do it once, and they weren't ready,
Yeah.
So
How many times have they gone to the moon? Did you see that? Or do you
they've
know?
never sent a man to the moon. They sent
rovers or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, rovers or something.
Oh yeah,
like
they
that.
sent the first thing to the moon. There was a thing on the moon before.
Oh,
us.
really?
Yeah, they sent
Okay.
Sputnik. No, that
was
a
the first satellite.
Yeah,
So I
I'll
bet
have to look it up.
if you live in Russia, you learn about the first man-made object to go to the moon.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably what you learn.
Yeah,
So
because they had so many more hours in space than we did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was
they
like
were destroying
like
us.
20 to 1 or something.
They were destroying us in the 50s, man. They had the first man in space, really, and they had
It's crazy to think. But
The
yeah, I
first
mean,
satellite.
maybe. Oh, I mean, maybe we did it that well that they couldn't dispute it.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate here.
Let's hear
Maybe
it.
we just didn't fucking hear about it. Maybe they did dispute it, but we didn't hear about it.
That's true.
Maybe they
That's
were
tr-
like,
and now no one cares. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was 50-something years ago.
maybe they were disputing it, but it's not like, okay, we like to think we have free press, but really,
Yeah.
people from Russia are disputing that we landed on the moon back in 1969. What American press is going to cover that?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because they were all for it here. America.
my number one, the biggest proof that we did land on
Is
the
this
moon.
5 already?
This is 4. I only had 4.
Oh, okay.
Is that they left retro reflectors on the moon. Did you ever see this?
And that we can see them. We can point something.
We
at
can
the moon
shine
and-
lasers up, and they shine back at us.
Yeah, but couldn't we have done that with a rover?
yeah,
So that one sucks.
yeah, but I don't know if we had the technology then. It's not like I don't think we had the technology to do that back then, because like now we can send shit to fucking Mars and play shit on the moon. Like I think if we fucking sent a rover there, it's just fucking sitting there. Unless you put a retro reflector on the rover,
Yeah.
then maybe.
You know those golf carts they use on the moon?
Yeah.
They were like, those things cost like $50 million. And we just left them there.
That's really not that much money when you think about it.
Really?
Yeah.
50? Can you imagine like a $50 million car?
How much money goes to the U.S. government a year?
Oh,
$1
God.
trillion dollars.
Oh God. Well, we were running on a deficit, so we spend way more than we take in.
But even back then,
Yeah, oh, yeah. God, they make too much money. The Soviet Union is the first to the moon. Yeah, whatever.
so even the real good point I had, I actually could dispute it.
What was the point?
that the Soviets didn't dispute it.
Oh, yeah, that's the toughest one.
Yeah, which even I figured out a way around it.
Yeah, that maybe
That's
they
kind of
did.
how it is with all conspiracy theories, though. If you want to find a way, it's kind of like
Self-fulfilling prophecy. You have to excuse Jim because he's been on a lot of work drugs.
Yeah.
What is it? Propane?
Yeah, I was working inside a garage, and we had a propane heater going in there, and I don't think I got the right ventilation.
He was just inhaling carbon monoxide the whole time.
Pretty much, my brain is not working.
You know, that's a
correctly.
way to commit suicide. Is people will lock themselves in a bathroom, and they'll get one of those charcoal grills you get at, like the dollar store,
Mm.
and you just light the little small charcoals, and you just die. Yeah. So, I mean, just a thought for anyone that needs to end their life.
I might try that tonight.
I was thinking of the word cult, but now I don't remember why I was thinking of that word. What were we talking about?
Like the kid from Karate Kid.
Oh no! What I was thinking about, like any conspiracy theory you want to make true. You know, you're gonna come up with whatever you want, and you're gonna think that like it's like a cult, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like just whatever evidence you can possibly find to be in your favor. You know, that's what you're gonna go with, and then any other evidence you're gonna just you're gonna throw out.
Yeah. One of the things.
It's kind of hard sometimes just to prove anything. I mean,
one of the things I always kind of held on to was the fact that they never did a lot of press when they got back. The Buzz
I know
Aldrin.
Neil Armstrong was very quiet.
Yeah, and again, they're scientists, and they're probably not the very
But
outgoing
Marshawn
type.
Lynch is the same way.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
doesn't want to talk to the press.
Unless you pay him like Skittles did,
Yeah, exactly.
then he'll talk. And another thing, I watched a video when they were talking about the stars, and they asked them about the stars. And a lot of people say that, you know, you see pictures of the moon and you don't see any of the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And this was disputed to the fact that they needed the light of the camera to be a certain way to see certain things, and the
Mhm.
exposure, if you wouldn't be able to see little bitty stars because the exposure of the film was set in a way where they could see things properly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they asked them. They asked Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, you know, were the stars amazing? You know, because here on Earth, when you're in the country where there's not a lot of light, you can see the stars and they're so amazing. But on the moon, there's not even an atmosphere. And they told them, you know what? I don't even. Do you even recall seeing? No, I don't recall seeing stars either. Like, wouldn't you remember that? I mean, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
one of the first things you wanted to do? Is look up where there's no atmosphere, and you're
I guess
literally
were they
looking
on
up into
the
space?
Were they on the part of the moon that was in not shined on by the sun?
They weren't on the dark side of the moon
Yeah, but you know how there's a half moon sometimes.
Mhm.
So I guess they weren't on the part that was in the sun, because I guess that would probably get too hot, wouldn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you think about all the photos, it's usually dark, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. So yeah, it would make sense to see stars like crazy.
Yeah. And I always thought that was weird that they were just say, oh, you know, I don't really. And the people say that the reason that they couldn't put the stars on there or take pictures of the stars or remember the stars or graph the stars is because, you know, we would be able to measure where the constellations are and where they were on the moon, and
yeah.
you couldn't get it perfect,
Yeah.
you know, mathematically, and you would be able to tell that they weren't in the right spot.
Shit.
But I don't know. I mean, who cares if we have or not? I mean, what the fuck's up there? There's nothing up there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if it was fucking if it had fucking oil up there, maybe we'd give a shit.
I guess there's probably certain minerals, but
Yeah,
nothing worth shit.
yeah. So if we faked it, what if we do? I mean, oh well, we didn't go to the moon. Now we're on fucking Mars. Who cares?
See, you know what? I just thought of this. What if, all right, say the Russians were right behind us, like technology-wise, and they fucking go there, and they go to the Apollo 11 site of the first moon landing, and there's nothing there.
Well, the Chinese just said that they went to the moon.
Oh, they
Was it
didn't send a
with it-
man there yet, but they sent
Sent the
rovers.
thing, yeah.
They sent machines there.
So maybe they could prove
Yeah,
if,
they can, because I
they're
know
there.
they're wanting to send a man there soon.
Yeah.
So
I tell you what, we're in fucking trouble. China, man, they're the fucking new USA. It's crazy. We got a couple plants in China at my work.
oh yeah,
Dude, those fucking they'll fucking turn out parts like crazy. We got plants in Mexico and Poland and China and Canada. China, whatever you ask for. Oh yeah, we'll get it to you tomorrow. It's like they fucking build shit like it's nothing.
wow.
Hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah. They're just fucking crazy. They're getting ready to start Chinese New Year this next week. The whole fucking country takes like 2 weeks off.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. They're gone for 2 weeks.
That's got to be the oldest society, right?
Yeah.
Besides maybe Egypt.
What? Oh, those fucking propane heaters. Tell you what.
Dude, I don't want to be around those anymore.
Oh, scary. Man, so I'm gonna get it set up. Probably not the next one. I need to find a formidable opponent for my buddy at work for religion. And probably have I'd like to have him and then someone who's super religious, and then just me and another person just kind of facilitate and listen and
My girlfriend could probably. She's really good with. So anyway,
Propane.
she studied all that stuff, so she'd be good with like.
Propane moment.
Yeah.
see. I want, man. I wonder if David would do it. You think he would?
I don't know. I haven't talked to that guy probably since high school.
Yeah, I haven't either.
You got him as Facebook friends?
You know
Yeah.
who can probably get a hold of him? Be Shane, because they used to be really close back. in the
Yeah.
day.
Well, anyone
just-
with internet connection.
Well, I mean,
I
in
just-
case he doesn't use Facebook all the
Oh,
time.
Actually, I'm
yeah.
gonna look him up right now. See if I
Yeah.
can pull him up.
Actually, he's probably got videos up right now.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people have Facebook, but they don't use it all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up. But I don't know. You want to do? We should do simulation theory next time, or something.
I kind of
like
think
that.
maybe we have one topic and do maybe current events or just kind of whatever.
Just whatever. Do
But
an
just
open
one
format.
like main topic and then just kind of go off and.
Hey,
go
maybe
our
we'll
own
get
thing.
lucky and there'll be some more murder and wars this next week. We can pick one of
Yeah.
those.
Because I mean, we kind of go off topic anyway, but it's
Yeah,
still kind of
we just
fun, you
talk
know.
about
So
whatever.
maybe just get a general topic and just go off on different tangents and
See where it leads us.
yeah. Just found David Wilbur, by the way,
Oh, nice.
and you are friends with him.
Yep. I'm gonna hit him up.
Cool.
Well, Rick, thanks for joining us. Glad you could get to talk about conspiracy theories and eat these really good whiteys right in front of me and just make me have to smell them.
Whoa.
Fucking dick.
Whoa. David Wilbur, I think he has a 17-year-old girlfriend.
She does look young.
And
Yeah. Are there
Carl Smith and 150 others like his profile picture. He must be a very popular man.
like his profile picture?
Yeah.
What is it of?
Just him and this 17-year-old chick. Maybe it's his sister.
No, I think he has a girlfriend.
Oh, well.
They're pretty serious.
Cool.
I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to him and see if he would be willing to do it. I've listened to a few of his debates, and I messaged him on one of them, and I said, I'm not very religious, but I'm always down for. I always loved listening to debates. He's a hell of a debater.
He's a master debater.
He is really good. He knows his shit. So I got to maybe I'll have my buddy Aldo listen to a few of his things and see if he's even willing to fight that battle.
Yeah.
All right, we're signing off. You wanna-
Peace.